Today I will share with you some life-changing philosophy. Before we start, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Also, comment where are you watching from and at what time you are watching. Have a nice sleep. Have you ever felt utterly overwhelmed by the noise around you? The endless stream of opinions, expectations, and the relentless pressure of keeping up? Imagine this. Ancient Stoic philosophers over 2,000 years ago faced the same human emotions, struggles, and questions about identity and purpose that we grapple with today. It's fascinating, isn't it, that the wisdom from centuries past still holds profound relevance in our modern, fast-paced world. Today, we're diving deep into the Stoic way of life, uncovering timeless truths that can help us navigate the chaos of the 21st century with grace, resilience, and profound inner peace. Whether you're struggling with stress, seeking meaning, or simply curious about a philosophical approach to life that has stood the test of time, you're in the right place. Together we'll explore how Stoicism isn't just a set of ideas, but a practical guide to living more fully, authentically, and serenely. And if you're eager to embark on this journey of self-discovery and timeless wisdom with us, please hit that subscribe button. And remember, every part of this video is crafted with you in mind, so don't skip any section. Each moment is a step towards a more stoic, resilient you. Isn't it curious how, at some point in our lives, we find ourselves entangled in the web of others' opinions? We often surrender our peace of mind and happiness trying to fit into the molds others create for us. But let's pause for a moment and delve into ancient Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the futility of seeking external approval. He urges us to question this innate desire to please others, challenging us to break free from the chains of external validation. It's a liberating thought, isn't it? To realize that the only approval you truly need is your own. Now, think about it. When you lay your head on your pillow at night, it's your thoughts you're left with, not others. So why not make those thoughts about your true self, your values, and your actions? Imagine the freedom of being unapologetically you, not swayed by fleeting opinions or the latest trends. But how do we start caring less about people's opinions? It begins with understanding and reaffirming your values. What do you stand for? What matters most to you? When your actions are in harmony with your beliefs, there's a profound sense of peace and authenticity that no amount of external approval can match. Moreover, embracing your uniqueness attracts the right kind of people into your life. Those who appreciate you for who you genuinely are, not for who they want you to be. It's about quality, not quantity. Having a few meaningful relationships based on mutual respect and understanding is infinitely more fulfilling than seeking the fleeting approval of the masses. It's crucial to remember that people's opinions are just that, opinions. They are subjective, variable, and often more reflective of the person expressing them than of you. As Marcus Aurelius wisely points out, the only constant and true validation comes from within, from living a life aligned with your values and principles. When we talk about being honest, it's easy to default to the idea of not lying to others. But Stoicism invites us to explore honesty on a much deeper level. It's about aligning our external actions and words with our internal values and beliefs. This alignment fosters a profound sense of integrity and wholeness. Imagine the peace that comes from knowing your actions are not just surface-level performances, but true reflections of your inner self. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, really hammers this point home. He suggests that honesty doesn't just make moral sense, it makes practical sense. Think about it. Deceit requires us to remember our lies, cover our tracks, and live in constant fear of being found out. It's mentally exhausting. Honesty, on the other hand, is simple and liberating. It frees us from the tangled web of deceit and allows us to live with ease and clarity. But here's the real kicker. Honesty affects not only our relationship with others, but also with ourselves. When we are honest with ourselves about our strengths, our flaws, and our desires, we pave the way for genuine growth and self-acceptance. It's like clearing out the clutter in our minds to make room for more peace, more understanding, and more authentic connections with the people around us. And yet, embracing honesty is not always easy. It requires courage and vulnerability. It means sometimes admitting we were wrong, facing our mistakes, and dealing with the consequences of our actions. But the reward, trust, respect, and a clear conscience is immeasurably worth it. So how can we cultivate this virtue in our daily lives? It starts with small steps. Practice transparency in your interactions. Reflect on your day and acknowledge moments where you might not have been entirely honest. Ask yourself why and how you can improve. Remember, it's a journey, and every step toward honesty is a step toward a more serene and meaningful life. We've all felt that sting, that immediate reaction when someone's words or actions seem to hit us right where it hurts. Seneca, with his profound understanding of human nature, reminds us to look beyond the surface. He suggests that when someone acts in a way that we find hurtful or offensive, it's often not really about us at all. People act based on their perceptions, their struggles, and their history. It's like everyone is moving through the world wearing a unique pair of glasses that color how they see everything around them, including us. Now, think about a time when you might have snapped at someone or acted in a way that wasn't really you. Chances are you were dealing with something else entirely. Stress, fear, insecurity, or maybe you were just having a really bad day. Now, if we can recognize this in ourselves, why not extend that same understanding to others? This perspective shift, which Seneca advocates, is about empathy, but it's also about self-preservation. When we stop taking things personally, we detach ourselves from the unnecessary pain that comes with believing everyone's actions are about us. It's like setting down a heavy burden we've been carrying around. Suddenly, we can breathe, move, and live more freely. But how do we actually do this? How do we stop taking things personally, especially when our emotions are already flared up? It starts with a pause. When you feel that rush of hurt or anger, just pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself of Seneca's words. This might not be about me at all. This simple act of pausing can prevent a reactive spiral and give you space to choose a more reasoned response. It's also about building resilience and understanding. The more we remind ourselves that we don't have the full picture of what someone else is going through, the less likely we are to be wounded by their actions or words. And when we do get hurt, because it will happen, we can treat it as a practice ground for our Stoic principles. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can it help me grow? In embracing this Stoic approach, we not only protect our peace of mind, but also open ourselves up to more compassionate and meaningful interactions. We become less reactive, more understanding, and, in a way, more connected to the humanity in everyone we meet. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about patience. He saw it not just as a passive waiting, but as an active engagement with the present moment, whatever it may hold. To him, being patient was akin to donning armor against the trials of life, transforming potential irritants into lessons of endurance and calm. Think about it. When you're stuck in traffic, there's a kind of freedom in accepting that you can't move faster than the cars in front of you. It's an opportunity to listen to your favorite music, an audiobook, or simply to your own thoughts. This shift doesn't change the traffic, but it changes how you experience it, turning a frustrating wait into a moment of peace or even enjoyment. Similarly, when dealing with a challenging person, imagine if, instead of reacting with irritation or anger, you responded with patience. You give yourself a moment to understand where they're coming from, to recognize that their behavior is more about their own struggles than anything else. This doesn't mean you accept bad behavior, but you respond to it with composure and thoughtfulness, which often diffuses tension and leads to better outcomes for everyone involved. Patience, in the Stoic sense, is about embracing the moment rather than fighting against it. It's about seeing the delay, the annoyance, or the obstacle as part of the path, not a deviation from it. Every moment of impatience is a chance to practice, to deepen your understanding of Stoicism, and to cultivate a serene mind. But how can we cultivate this patience in our everyday lives? It starts with awareness. Recognize when impatience is starting to bubble up inside you. Then pause. Take a deep breath. Remember Marcus Aurelius and the countless others who have faced far greater trials with patience and dignity. Another practical step is to adjust your expectations. Often our impatience stems from things not going according to our plan. But if we remind ourselves that we're not in control of everything, only our response to things, we can set more realistic expectations and find peace in the unfolding of life. However it happens, view each test of patience as an opportunity, not a hurdle. Like a muscle that gets stronger with exercise, your capacity for patience grows every time you choose it over frustration or anger. And the rewards are immense: a calmer mind, less stress, and a reputation as someone who is composed and thoughtful, even in challenging situations. Epictetus knew a thing or two about adversity and integrity. He didn't just lecture about Stoicism in the classroom. He lived it every single day, and he encouraged his students to do the same, to embody their philosophy. It's about making your life a testament to your values, letting your actions speak louder than your words. Imagine the ripple effect you can create by simply living out your principles. When you show kindness, even in difficult situations, others take notice. It might inspire them to act kindly in turn. When you demonstrate integrity, refusing to compromise on your values, it sets a standard for those around you. And when you face adversity with resilience, maintaining a calm and composed demeanor, it can be a beacon of hope for others who are struggling. But how do we actually do this? How do we become an example for others? It starts with self-reflection. Take a moment to consider the values that are truly important to you. What principles do you want to guide your life? Once you have clarity on these, strive to align your actions with your values. It's about making conscious choices every day that reflect who you are and what you stand for. Of course, nobody's perfect. We all have our moments of weakness, our lapses in judgment. But being an example isn't about perfection, it's about striving. It's about making a genuine effort to live according to your ideals, even when it's hard. And when you do slip up, it's about owning your mistakes, learning from them, and moving forward with even greater resolve. Another key aspect of being an example is consistency. It's not just about doing the right thing when it's easy or when people are watching. It's about being consistent in your values, whether you're in the spotlight or alone. This consistency builds trust and respect, and it's what truly sets an example for others. Let's take inspiration from Epictetus and strive to be living embodiments of our philosophy. Whether it's kindness, integrity, resilience, or any other virtue, let's bring it to life in our actions. Remember, you have the power to inspire, to influence, and to make a positive impact on the world around you. Be the change you wish to see, and watch how your example can light the way for others. It seems everywhere we turn, social media, news outlets, even our daily interactions, there's a barrage of negativity, criticism, and yes, the haters. It can be exhausting, but they don't have to dictate your happiness. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about maintaining one's inner peace amidst external turmoil. He spoke of the inner citadel, a fortress within us, that no external negativity can breach unless we allow it. This concept is incredibly empowering. Think about it. You have the power to create and maintain a space of peace and calm within you, no matter what storms rage outside. So, how do we tune out the haters and keep our inner citadel secure? First and foremost, it's about recognizing what is and isn't within our control. We can't control what others say or do, the harsh comments they leave, the unkind rumors they spread. But we can control our response. We can choose not to engage, not to internalize their negativity, and not to let it disturb our peace. Another key Stoic strategy is to reflect on the intention behind the negativity. Often those who lash out are struggling with their own issues, insecurities, or pain. Understanding this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help us respond with compassion rather than defensiveness or anger. It allows us to see their negativity as their burden, not ours. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful tool in maintaining our inner citadel. When faced with negativity, take a moment to pause and breathe. Remind yourself that this moment of negativity is just that, a moment. It will pass. You don't have to let it define your day or your mood. By staying present and grounded, you can keep your inner peace intact. It's also helpful to surround yourself with positivity. Engage with uplifting content. Connect with supportive people. Fill your environment with things that bring you joy and peace. Remember, you have the power to curate your own life experience. Choose positivity and let the negativity slide by. Remember that tuning out the haters is not about building walls or becoming indifferent. It's about choosing where to focus your energy and attention. It's about preserving your inner peace and strength so you can face challenges with grace and resilience. Stoicism might seem all about rationality, but there's a big place for love, too. Seneca tells us that love isn't just something you feel, it's something you do. It's an active, vibrant energy that you put out into the world, and it has this beautiful boomerang effect. The more love you give, the more you find it coming back to you, often from the most unexpected places. But what does it mean? To be full of love, in a Stoic sense, is about approaching every interaction, every person, with goodwill and benevolence. It's seeing the humanity in everyone, even those who are challenging to deal with. It means wishing well for others, genuinely desiring their happiness and well-being, regardless of how they feel about you. This isn't always easy, especially when faced with negativity or hostility. But it's a powerful stance that can transform not just your own life, but also the lives of those around you. Being full of love also means practicing forgiveness and understanding. Everyone we meet is fighting their own battle, carrying their own burdens. By choosing love and compassion, we lighten their load and our own. We connect on a deeper level, recognizing our shared humanity. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us that love extends beyond just our relationships with people. It's about cultivating a loving relationship with life itself, embracing all its twists and turns with open arms. It's finding joy in the simple things, appreciating the beauty around us, and engaging with the world in a meaningful, positive way. So how can we cultivate this loving, Stoic approach to life? Start small. Offer a kind word to a stranger. Show appreciation to your loved ones. Practice gratitude daily. Reflect on your actions and intentions, asking yourself if they're rooted in love and kindness. And when you encounter negativity or unkindness, try to respond with understanding and compassion. Remember, being full of love isn't about being naive or ignoring the harsh realities of the world. It's about choosing to respond to those realities with love rather than fear or anger. It's a courageous, powerful choice that can lead to true contentment and connection. How often do we find ourselves scrolling through social media, looking at someone else's highlight reel, and feeling like we just don't measure up? But here's a Stoic antidote to this pervasive issue. Focus on your own path, your own growth, and your own achievements. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, teach us that the only comparison worth making is with who we were yesterday, not with someone else today. This idea is so liberating when you really think about it. Imagine freeing yourself from the endless cycle of looking over your shoulder, worrying about what everyone else is doing and feeling inadequate. The Stoics offer us a different perspective. Your journey is yours alone, rich with its own challenges, triumphs, and lessons. By embracing this, you honor your unique path and cultivate a sense of self-worth that isn't reliant on external validation. But how do we put this into practice, especially in a world that constantly urges us to compare and compete? First, it's about becoming mindful of when we're making these comparisons. Notice that twinge of envy or self-doubt when you see someone else's success or happiness. Acknowledge it, and then gently remind yourself, my path is different, and that's okay. Next, actively celebrate your own achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Did you tackle a difficult task at work? Did you show kindness to a stranger? Did you make time for self-care? These are all victories worth acknowledging. By celebrating your own progress, you reinforce the idea that your journey is valid and valuable. Another powerful Stoic practice is reflecting on your personal growth. Take time to look back at where you were a year ago, 5 years ago, or even a decade ago. Recognize the strides you've made, the obstacles you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned. This reflection not only boosts your self-esteem, but also deepens your appreciation for your unique journey. And remember, the Stoics didn't just talk about personal achievements in terms of career success or material gain. They valued wisdom, virtue, resilience, and inner peace. So when you measure your progress, consider these deeper, more meaningful markers of growth. Are you more patient than you used to be? More compassionate? More resilient? These are the kinds of achievements that truly reflect your growth as a person. In the whirlwind of our daily lives, it's so easy to get caught up in the minutiae, the endless to-do lists and the relentless pursuit of our personal goals. But Stoicism, with its profound insights into the human condition, reminds us of what's genuinely important, the connections we share with the people we love. Stoicism might seem like it's all about self-discipline and resilience, but at its heart, it's deeply concerned with community and relationships. The Stoics understood that our time on this earth is precious and not to be taken for granted. They encourage us to live in the present, to appreciate the here and now, and to value the people who add meaning and joy to our lives. But how do we put this into practice, especially when life gets busy and we get distracted? It starts with mindfulness, with making a conscious effort to be present when we're with our loved ones. It means really listening when they speak, engaging with them fully, and showing them through our actions that they matter to us. Expressing gratitude is another key aspect. It's about letting our loved ones know that we appreciate them, not just in grand gestures, but in the everyday small moments that truly define our relationships. A simple thank you, a note of appreciation, or a kind word can mean so much. It acknowledges the value of the other person and the contribution they make to our lives. And then there's expressing love, which can be done in countless ways, tailored to the individual and the relationship. It might be spending quality time together, offering support during challenging times, or sharing joys and successes. Love, in the Stoic sense, is active and engaged. It's about showing up for people, being there in the moments that matter. Making time for our loved ones is perhaps the most crucial part. In our busy lives, it's all too easy to let relationships slide, to assume that people will always be there. But the Stoic reminder of the impermanence of life urges us to prioritize our relationships, to carve out time for those who matter most, even when it feels like there are a million other things demanding our attention. Cherishing our loved ones is about recognizing the irreplaceable role they play in our lives and honoring that with our time, our attention, and our affection. It's about building and nurturing those bonds, knowing that they are the true source of richness and meaning in our lives. Remember that the journey of life is one we share with those we hold dear. Cherish every moment, embrace every opportunity to show love, and never underestimate the power of presence. In the chaos of our daily lives, it's easy to feel like we're drowning in a sea of stress and uncertainty. Yet, there's a way to find calm amidst the storm, a path to inner peace that has stood the test of time. Picture this: despite everything that's thrown at you, work pressures, personal conflicts, unexpected challenges, you can stand firm, unshaken, and serene. This isn't just a dream, it's the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us how to master our emotions and reactions to live a more fulfilled life. Today we're diving into the heart of Stoicism, exploring 10 timeless principles that can transform the way you navigate life's inevitable ups and downs. These principles are not abstract theories, but practical tools that you can apply every day to build resilience and inner strength. Whether you're struggling with a difficult relationship, feeling overwhelmed by your responsibilities, or simply seeking a deeper sense of purpose, the wisdom of Stoicism offers profound insights and practical strategies to help you thrive. Stay with me as we journey through these powerful Stoic teachings, from learning how to maintain a firm purpose in life to mastering the art of emotional control. Each principle is a stepping stone to a life where external events no longer dictate your inner peace. By the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge and tools to cultivate a state of calm and confidence no matter what life throws your way. So, let's embark on this transformative journey together and discover how the ancient wisdom of Stoicism can help you achieve unshakable tranquility and true happiness. If you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button, and don't skip any part of the video. Imagine setting sail on a vast ocean without a clear destination. You drift aimlessly, subject to every shift in the wind and wave. That's what life feels like without a firm purpose, directionless and vulnerable to external forces. Epictetus emphasized the importance of having clear, firm purposes. He said, "Difficulties show a person's character, and the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it." This isn't just a philosophical musing. It's a call to action. When you have a firm purpose, it's like having a compass that guides you through life's tumultuous seas. This purpose doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's crafted through moments of deep reflection on what truly matters to you. It's not just about career goals or personal achievements, but also about the principles and values you want to dedicate your life to. What do you stand for? What kind of person do you aspire to be? These are the questions you need to answer to find your firm purpose. Once you identify your purpose, it acts as an anchor, grounding you amidst the chaos. Life will throw challenges your way. This is inevitable. But with a firm purpose, these challenges become more manageable. They turn from insurmountable mountains into stepping stones that you can climb. Think of it this way. When your goals and values are crystal clear, the world around you seems to shrink. Colossal challenges become small steps in the journey toward your ultimate purpose. This inner strength, cultivated through Stoic wisdom, cannot be easily defeated. A firm purpose is not something you stumble upon by chance. It's the result of deliberate, deep reflection on what genuinely matters to you. This reflection requires time and honesty. You must dig deep into your soul, beyond superficial desires and fleeting wants, to discover what truly drives you. This might involve reevaluating your life's direction, shedding old habits, or embracing new perspectives. It's a continuous process of self-discovery and alignment with your true self. Once you've found this purpose and ingrained it into your heart, the next step is to apply diligence to protect and nurture it. This involves perseverance and a steadfast commitment to your goals. It's about showing up every day, even when the going gets tough. It's about pushing through setbacks and failures, knowing that they are part of the journey. Remember, a firm purpose isn't just a destination. It's a guiding light that helps you navigate life's journey with confidence and resilience. Think of a firm purpose as a beacon in the night. It not only guides you, but also provides a sense of security and stability. When life's whirlwinds try to pull you off course, your firm purpose acts as a lifebuoy, keeping you from sinking into the sea of emotions and difficult circumstances. This is the power of Stoicism. It's not just a set of rules for living. It's a profound understanding of the power of will and determination. Epictetus reminds us that true power lies in our ability to stay committed to our purpose despite external obstacles. In the light of this philosophy, nothing is impossible, and nothing can shake your resilient spirit. So, take some time to reflect deeply on your purpose. Write it down, internalize it, and let it guide you. This firm purpose will be your anchor, your beacon, and your unwavering guide through the storms of life. When someone offends us, it's natural to feel hurt and want to retaliate. But here's where Stoicism steps in with a powerful lesson. Our emotions are the result of our thoughts and personal perspectives. This means we have the power to choose how to respond to any situation. Instead of letting offense overwhelm us, we can see it as an opportunity to strengthen our patience and self-awareness. Think of it like this. Every time you resist the urge to react impulsively, you're building a mental muscle. You're training your mind to remain calm and composed no matter what. Mind control is not just a skill. It's an art that requires daily practice. Start with small habits that help you regain control over your thoughts. For instance, set small, achievable goals every day. Each time you accomplish a goal, no matter how minor, you build self-confidence and reinforce your ability to control your mind. Focus on living in the present moment and deepening your understanding of your emotions. When you start to realize that you have the power to choose your reactions, you'll become resilient to challenges and less swayed by negative emotions. Consider the story of a baker who dedicates every day to perfecting their craft. This baker isn't swayed by excessive criticism or praise. They focus solely on improving their skills, paying no mind to external opinions. This single-minded dedication allows them to achieve true freedom and inner peace. Similarly, by guarding your mind against external influences, you can focus on your own growth. Guarding your mind also involves setting boundaries. Be mindful of what you allow into your mental space. Just as you wouldn't let garbage into your home, don't let negative thoughts, toxic people, or harmful media clutter your mind. Surround yourself with positive influences that uplift and inspire you. Read books that expand your knowledge, engage in conversations that challenge and grow your thinking, and spend time with people who support and encourage you. Stoic philosophy isn't just a classical discipline. It's a powerful tool for modern life. By learning to control our minds and handle our emotions maturely, we can achieve genuine peace and freedom amidst a volatile and uncertain world. This isn't about suppressing emotions, but understanding them deeply and responding in a way that aligns with our values and purpose. One practical technique is to practice mindfulness or meditation. These practices help you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, creating a gap between stimulus and response. In that gap lies your power and freedom. By regularly practicing mindfulness, you train your mind to observe without immediately reacting, giving you greater control over your emotional landscape. Another aspect of guarding your mind is cultivating a growth mindset. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats to your comfort. When you encounter difficulties, remind yourself that every obstacle is a chance to become stronger and wiser. This shift in perspective can transform how you experience adversity, making you more resilient and less susceptible to negative influences. Remember, guarding your mind is a lifelong journey. It's about consistently choosing to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your responses, and your attitudes. It's about rejecting the victim mentality and embracing the role of an active creator of your own experience. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And soon enough, you'll find that external events have less and less power over your inner peace. Epictetus taught that we cannot control the opinions or actions of others, but we can control how we react to them. This principle means that even when someone criticizes us harshly, we have the power to decide how much that criticism will affect us. In today's world, this translates to accepting that everyone has their own perspectives and values, which may not always align with ours. It's normal to encounter differing opinions and sometimes harsh words. What matters is how we process and respond to these situations. The first step in handling criticism is understanding ourselves deeply. When you have a clear understanding of your motivations and the reasons behind your actions, criticism from others loses its sting. If you know you are acting according to your values and principles, negative words from others become less significant. This self-awareness creates a strong foundation that protects you from being easily swayed by external opinions. When faced with criticism, instead of reacting defensively, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself if there is any truth in the criticism. Sometimes even harsh feedback can contain valuable insights that can help us grow. This doesn't mean you have to accept all criticism as valid, but being open to considering it shows maturity and a willingness to learn. Stoicism also teaches the importance of patience and gentleness. Patience allows us to maintain our composure and not react hastily or negatively to criticism. Gentleness helps us maintain good relationships with others, even when they disagree with us or criticize us. Think of the lives of saints and ascetics who faced harm and insult with patience and kindness, always holding fast to their chosen path. By practicing patience and gentleness, we can handle criticism without letting it disrupt our inner peace. Handling criticism also involves developing a thick skin. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or ignoring feedback, but rather building resilience. It's about understanding that not all criticism is about you. Sometimes people criticize others because of their own insecurities, frustrations, or misunderstandings. By recognizing this, you can depersonalize the criticism and not let it affect your self-worth. Remember that you have the power to choose your response. This freedom is central to Stoic philosophy. Just because someone criticizes you doesn't mean you have to accept their judgment as the final word on your character or abilities. You can choose to take what's useful and discard the rest. This selective approach to handling criticism allows you to grow without being weighed down by negativity. Engaging in constructive dialogue is another effective way to handle criticism. If the criticism comes from someone close, like a friend or family member, consider discussing it with them. Ask for clarification and express your perspective calmly. This not only helps resolve any misunderstandings, but also strengthens your relationships by fostering open communication and mutual respect. Handling criticism effectively can inspire others. When people see you responding to criticism with grace, composure, and a willingness to learn, they are likely to admire your strength and follow your example. You become a role model for resilience and emotional intelligence, embodying the principles of Stoicism in everyday life. Epictetus taught that what frightens and dismays us is not the events themselves, but how we think about them. This means that when someone offends you, it's not their words or actions that hurt you, but rather your perception and reaction to those words or actions. In other words, the power lies within you to decide how much an offense will impact you. This principle is liberating because it shifts the control from external circumstances to your internal world. Transforming offense isn't about denying your emotion. It's natural to feel hurt or angry when you're offended. Stoicism teaches us to acknowledge these emotions without being controlled by them. It's about creating a space between the stimulus and your response. In that space lies your power to choose a response that aligns with your values and long-term goals. One practical way to transform offense is through cognitive reframing. When you feel offended, try to look at the situation from a different angle. Instead of focusing on the negative, ask yourself what you can learn from this experience. This doesn't mean you have to agree with the offender, but it allows you to extract any potential lessons and grow from them. For instance, if a friend criticizes your lifestyle choices, instead of taking it personally, consider if there's any merit to their observation, or if it's an opportunity to affirm your commitment to your values. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of empathy. When someone offends you, try to put yourself in their shoes. What might they be going through that caused them to act this way? This perspective can help you respond with compassion rather than anger. It's not about excusing bad behavior, but about understanding the human condition and recognizing that everyone has their struggles. Another powerful technique is to practice forgiveness. Holding on to offense and resentment only harms you. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. By choosing to forgive, you free yourself from the burden of negative emotions. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning the offense, but rather releasing its hold on you. It's a gift you give yourself, allowing you to move forward with peace and clarity. Stoic philosophy also teaches us that true strength lies in embracing and overcoming difficulties, not in avoiding them. Every offense you encounter is an opportunity to build your resilience. Just like a muscle grows stronger through resistance, your character strengthens through facing and transforming offenses. The more you practice this, the more naturally it will come, until you find that external events have little power to disturb your inner peace. Remember that transforming offense is a practice. It's not something you perfect overnight. It requires patience, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth. Each time you choose to transform an offense, you're reinforcing a positive habit and making it easier to respond constructively in the future. Epictetus pointed out a profound truth. We are the ones who assign meaning to events, thus creating fear and shame within our souls. This means that these emotions are not inherent in the situations themselves, but are products of our interpretations. Once we understand this, we can begin to change the way we perceive and respond to fear and shame. Fear often arises from the unknown or the anticipation of negative outcomes. It's a natural response meant to protect us, but it can become debilitating if left unchecked. Stoicism teaches us to face our fears head-on. Instead of avoiding what scares us, we should examine it closely. Ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of? Break it down into specific concerns. Often, you'll find that the fear loses its power when you analyze it rationally. For instance, imagine you're afraid of public speaking. This fear might stem from the worry of being judged or making mistakes. But by breaking it down, you realize that the audience is not there to judge you harshly. They are there to listen and learn. And even if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Every speaker stumbles at some point. By facing this fear and preparing thoroughly, you gradually build confidence. Each time you speak, you chip away at the fear, and it becomes more manageable. Shame is a deep-seated emotion that can make us feel unworthy or flawed. It often stems from societal pressures or past mistakes. Stoicism teaches us to confront shame with courage and self-compassion. It's about accepting our imperfections and learning from our experiences rather than being defined by them. Consider a situation where you feel ashamed of a past mistake. Instead of allowing this shame to fester, face it directly. Reflect on the mistake and understand why it happened. What can you learn from it? How can you use this experience to grow and become a better person? This process of reflection and learning helps you transform shame into a valuable lesson rather than a source of self-loathing. Another powerful tool in overcoming shame is self-forgiveness. Holding on to shame keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-criticism. By forgiving ourselves, we release the heavy burden and allow ourselves to move forward. This doesn't mean excusing our mistakes, but acknowledging them, learning from them, and then letting them go. It's a crucial step in healing and personal growth. To practice overcoming fear and shame, start with small steps. Expose yourself gradually to situations that trigger these emotions. Use each experience as a learning opportunity. Over time, you'll build resilience and find that what once terrified or shamed you no longer has the same hold over you. This gradual exposure and reflection help to desensitize you to fear and shame, making them more manageable. Stoicism also teaches the importance of community and support. Share your fears and feelings of shame with trusted friends or mentors. Opening up about these emotions can be liberating and provide you with new perspectives and encouragement. Often, you'll find that others have faced similar challenges and can offer valuable insights and support. Epictetus suggested that by envisioning potential difficulties along our path, we prepare ourselves to face them calmly and thoughtfully. This isn't about being pessimistic or expecting the worst. It's about being realistic and ready for anything. When you anticipate obstacles, you're not caught off guard when they appear. Instead, you've already considered possible solutions and ways to manage your reactions. One practical way to anticipate obstacles is through a technique called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves taking time to visualize potential challenges and consider how you would respond to them. For example, before a big meeting, you might think about what could go wrong. Technical difficulties, tough questions, or even personal nervousness. By envisioning these scenarios, you can plan your responses and reduce the impact of surprise. This practice isn't about dwelling on negativity, but about building mental resilience. When you've mentally rehearsed handling difficulties, you're less likely to be thrown off balance when they occur. You become more adaptable and capable of maintaining your composure, which is a hallmark of Stoic philosophy. Anticipating obstacles also means being flexible and open to change. Life rarely goes exactly as planned, and rigid expectations can lead to disappointment and stress. By anticipating that things may not go as expected, you can remain flexible and adjust your plans as needed. This adaptability is crucial for navigating life's uncertainties with grace and effectiveness. Another important aspect of anticipating obstacles is maintaining a balanced perspective. While it's useful to consider potential difficulties, it's equally important to recognize your strengths and resources. Acknowledge the skills, knowledge, and support systems you have that can help you overcome challenges. This balanced approach ensures that you're prepared without becoming overly anxious or negative. Anticipating obstacles helps build patience and perseverance. When you know that challenges are inevitable, you develop a long-term mindset that values persistence over immediate success. You become more patient with the process and more resilient in the face of setbacks. This endurance is a key component of Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of steadfastness and inner strength. Engaging in regular reflection can also enhance your ability to anticipate obstacles. Take time to review past experiences and identify patterns. What challenges did you face, and how did you overcome them? What strategies worked, and what could you improve? By learning from your experiences, you can better prepare for future obstacles and refine your approach to problem solving. Incorporating mindfulness practices can further strengthen your ability to anticipate and manage obstacles. Mindfulness helps you stay present and aware, allowing you to recognize potential challenges early and respond thoughtfully. It enhances your emotional regulation, ensuring that you remain calm and centered, even in stressful situations. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple yet profound statement underscores the essence of inner strength. Our true power lies not in altering external circumstances, but in mastering our inner responses. When faced with adversity, whether it's severe criticism from a trusted friend or an unexpected setback, we have the freedom to choose our response. This choice defines our character and shapes our life. Inner strength is cultivated through self-awareness and deliberate practice. It starts with recognizing your emotions without letting them overwhelm you. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather observing them and understanding their roots. When you become aware of your emotional triggers, you can better manage your reactions. This self-awareness is the first step toward building inner strength. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. This distinction is crucial for maintaining inner peace. We cannot control other people's actions or opinions, but we can control our attitudes and responses. By focusing on what we can control, we conserve our energy and reduce unnecessary stress. This mindset shift is empowering and helps us stay grounded in the face of external turbulence. Forgiveness is another powerful aspect of inner strength. Holding on to grudges and resentment drains our energy and clouds our judgment. Just as Stoicism teaches us to control our reactions, it also encourages us to practice forgiveness. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather releasing its hold on us. By forgiving, we free ourselves from the burden of negative emotions and create space for healing and growth. Building inner strength also involves developing resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and setbacks are inevitable. The key is to view these setbacks as opportunities to strengthen your character. Every challenge you face is a chance to practice resilience and perseverance. Over time, this practice fortifies your inner strength, making you more adaptable and less susceptible to life's fluctuations. Stoicism encourages us to seek strength not just in ourselves, but also in our community and faith. Surround yourself with supportive and like-minded individuals who uplift and inspire you. Engage in conversations that challenge and expand your thinking. If you have a spiritual practice, draw on it for strength and guidance. These external sources of support can reinforce your inner strength and provide a sense of belonging and purpose. Practicing gratitude is another effective way to cultivate inner strength. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering a positive mindset even in difficult times. There is always something to be grateful for. By regularly acknowledging and appreciating these positives, you strengthen your emotional resilience and maintain a balanced perspective. Inner strength is also about embracing vulnerability. Acknowledging your fears and insecurities doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. By confronting these vulnerabilities with courage and compassion, you transform them into sources of strength. This self-acceptance is a vital component of inner strength, allowing you to navigate life with authenticity and confidence. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means acknowledging your feelings but not letting them dictate your action. It's about creating a space between stimulus and response, a moment to reflect and choose the most appropriate course of action. This practice of pausing and reflecting is powerful and can transform how you interact with the world. Consider the example of driving in heavy traffic. Someone cuts you off, and your immediate reaction might be anger or even road rage. Instead of acting on this impulse, Stoicism encourages you to pause and consider your response. Will honking or shouting make the situation better? Probably not. By choosing to remain calm, you maintain control over your emotions and actions, leading to a more peaceful and less stressful experience. Another aspect of restraining actions is the ability to delay gratification. In our fast-paced world, we're often tempted to seek immediate rewards and avoid discomfort. However, Stoicism teaches us the value of patience and perseverance. By delaying gratification and working towards long-term goals, we cultivate discipline and resilience. This principle also applies to how we communicate with others. In moments of heated discussion or conflict, it's easy to let emotions take over and say things we might later regret. Stoicism teaches us to practice restraint in our words. Before speaking, consider the impact of your words. Are they constructive? Do they reflect your values? By speaking mindfully and with intention, you can build stronger, more respectful relationships. Practicing self-restraint requires self-awareness and discipline. It's about being conscious of your impulses and actively choosing to control them. This might involve setting personal boundaries, practicing mindfulness, or developing new habits that support your goals. For instance, if you tend to procrastinate, create a structured schedule that helps you stay focused and productive. If you struggle with anger, practice relaxation techniques that help you remain calm in stressful situations. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of acting according to reason rather than impulse. This means making decisions based on thoughtful consideration of the situation and its consequences. Imagine you're faced with a significant decision at work. Instead of making a hasty choice, take the time to gather information, weigh the pros and cons, and consider how your decision aligns with your values and goals. This reasoned approach leads to better outcomes and a greater sense of control. Restraining actions is not about becoming passive or avoiding action altogether. It's about being deliberate and intentional in our choices. It's about understanding that our actions have consequences and taking responsibility for them. By practicing self-restraint, we become more effective in achieving our goals and maintaining our inner peace. Engaging in regular reflection can also enhance your ability to restrain actions. Take time each day to review your behavior and consider where you could have exercised more restraint. What triggered your impulses? How could you respond differently in the future? This ongoing self-assessment helps you build greater self-awareness and strengthens your commitment to acting with intention. Another practical approach to restraining actions is to develop a daily mindfulness practice. Mindfulness helps you stay present and aware, allowing you to recognize impulsive urges and choose more thoughtful responses. Whether through meditation, deep breathing exercises, or mindful observation, incorporating mindfulness into your routine can significantly enhance your self-control. Acceptance is the first step towards effective action. When we resist reality, we waste energy and create unnecessary suffering. For example, if you lose your job, it's natural to feel upset and worried about the future. But by accepting the situation, you can focus on what you can do next. Updating your resume, networking, or exploring new career opportunities. This proactive mindset enables you to navigate the challenge more effectively and reduces the emotional toll of the experience. One practical way to cultivate acceptance is through mindfulness and meditation. These practices help you stay present and aware, allowing you to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. By regularly practicing mindfulness, you develop the ability to accept each moment as it comes, with all its imperfections and uncertainties. This acceptance creates a foundation of inner peace and resilience. Stoicism teaches us that acceptance is not about giving up, but about finding strength in adversity. It's about understanding that every event, no matter how challenging, offers an opportunity for growth and learning. When faced with difficulties, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me stronger? This shift in perspective transforms obstacles into stepping stones for personal development. Acceptance also involves letting go of perfectionism. Many of us strive for perfection in our careers, relationships, and personal achievement. However, this relentless pursuit can lead to stress and dissatisfaction. By accepting that perfection is unattainable, we can appreciate our efforts and progress. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but recognizing that imperfections are part of the human experience. Embracing our flaws and setbacks with compassion allows us to live more fully and authentically. Gratitude is another powerful tool for cultivating acceptance. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude helps us see the good in our lives, even amidst challenges. By regularly practicing gratitude, we reinforce a positive outlook and strengthen our ability to accept and appreciate life as it is. Acceptance also extends to our relationships. We often have expectations of how others should behave, leading to frustration and disappointment when they don't meet these expectations. By accepting people as they are, with all their strengths and weaknesses, we can build more harmonious and fulfilling relationships. This doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior, but understanding that everyone has their own journey and challenges. By practicing empathy and compassion, we create a space for authentic connections and mutual growth. Epictetus and other Stoic philosophers emphasized that living according to nature means recognizing our place in the world and acting in accordance with our rational and social nature. At its core, this principle is about living authentically and in harmony with the universe. Living according to nature starts with self-awareness. It requires a deep understanding of who we are and what our true nature is. This involves introspection and reflection on our values, strengths, and purpose. By understanding our natural tendencies and inclinations, we can make choices that align with our true selves rather than conforming to societal expectations or external pressures. This principle also means recognizing and accepting the natural cycles of life. Just as the seasons change, our lives go through different phases: growth, stability, decline, and renewal. By accepting these cycles, we can navigate life's transitions with greater ease and grace. Living according to nature involves cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are the guiding principles that help us navigate life's challenges and make ethical decisions. Wisdom allows us to see things clearly and make informed choices. Courage gives us the strength to face adversity and take action. Justice ensures that we act fairly and honorably in our relationships. Temperance helps us maintain balance and self-control. By cultivating these virtues, we align our actions with our natural, rational nature. Stoicism also teaches us to live in harmony with others. As social beings, we are naturally connected to those around us. Living according to nature means recognizing our interdependence and contributing to the well-being of our community. This involves practicing empathy, compassion, and cooperation. When we help others and build positive relationships, we fulfill our social nature and create a more harmonious and supportive environment. Another aspect of living according to nature is embracing simplicity and focusing on what truly matters. In a world filled with distractions and materialistic pursuits, it's easy to lose sight of our true priorities. Stoicism encourages us to strip away the excess and focus on our core values and essential needs. This might involve simplifying our lifestyle, prioritizing meaningful relationships, and dedicating time to personal growth and self-care. By doing so, we create space for what truly brings us joy and fulfillment. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of acceptance and gratitude in living according to nature. Accepting the natural flow of life means letting go of the need to control every outcome and trusting in the process. It's about being grateful for what we have and appreciating the present moment. Gratitude helps us recognize the abundance in our lives and fosters a positive mindset. By focusing on the good, we cultivate a sense of contentment and peace. Living according to nature requires us to be mindful of our impact on the environment. As part of the natural world, we have a responsibility to care for the planet and preserve its resources. This involves making sustainable choices, reducing waste, and respecting the delicate balance of ecosystems. By living in an environmentally conscious way, we honor our connection to nature and contribute to the well-being of future generations. Incorporating mindfulness into our daily lives can enhance our ability to live according to nature. Mindfulness helps us stay present and aware, allowing us to make intentional choices that align with our true selves. Whether through meditation, deep breathing, or mindful observation, these practices help us connect with our inner nature and the world around us. They encourage us to slow down, reflect, and act with purpose. Overthinking is a silent thief that steals your peace and creates chaos in your mind. It's easy to get caught in the storm of your thoughts, ruminating over the past, worrying about the future, or endlessly analyzing the present. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and are seeking a way to find inner peace, this video is for you. Today we're diving deep into the world of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to tame the chaos within and embrace a life of tranquility and focus. You might think that these lessons from over 2,000 years ago wouldn't apply today, but I'm here to show you how these timeless principles are more relevant than ever in our modern, hectic lives. Now, if you appreciate the insights and stories we're going to explore together, do me a simple, free favor. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us bring more of these life-changing ideas to you and others who might benefit from a little less chaos and a lot more peace. And remember, don't skip any part of the video. Each point we're going to discuss has the potential to significantly shift your perspective and perhaps your life. Let's unlock the secrets of the Stoics together, and I promise you'll walk away from this video not just informed, but transformed. When it feels like your mind is a time machine, zipping back to past regrets, or zooming forward to future worries, it's time to hit the brakes and park yourself firmly in the present. This might sound a bit abstract, so let's break it down. Picture this. You're at a great concert, but instead of enjoying the music, your mind wanders to a mistake you made earlier in the week or what you need to do tomorrow. Sounds familiar, right? This is where Stoicism steps in, reminding us that the only true possession we have is now, the present moment. Stoic philosophy isn't about suppressing your past or ignoring your future. It's about embracing the present with full awareness. Think of the present as your point of power. It's the stage where you can act, decide, and live. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of concentrating on the present task, treating it as if it were your last. He wasn't being morbid. He was highlighting the intensity and focus that comes from living in the moment. So how do you practice this? Start by tuning into your immediate environment. Notice the colors around you, listen to the sounds, take in the smells. This sensory check-in is a practical way to anchor yourself. When your senses are engaged, there's less room for your mind to wander off. It's like telling your brain, hey, look here, this is where we're at, let's make the most of it. This simple act can cut through the noise of overthinking and bring a surprising calmness, clearing the way for more joy and less worry. Another way to live in the now is through what the Stoics call voluntary discomfort. It's about small, intentional practices like taking a cold shower, skipping a meal. These actions aren't just for building resilience. They're about pulling you back into the present. They sharpen your ability to control your response to the here and now, rather than letting your mind drag you back and forth through time. Mindfulness, a concept that resonates with Stoic traditions, is also key. It's about observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Imagine sitting by a stream, watching leaves float by. Each leaf is a thought or a feeling. Your job isn't to grab at the leaves, but to watch them drift past. This detachment allows you to recognize that thoughts are just thoughts. They don't control you. You control how you engage with them. Living in the present also means letting go of the what-ifs and if-onlys that haunt your inner dialogue. This doesn't mean you don't plan for the future or learn from the past, but you do so in a way that serves you right now. It's about making the past and future relevant to the present, using them as tools, not chains. Ever noticed how a cluttered room can make you feel overwhelmed, like you can't think straight until you've tidied up? Well, our minds work in much the same way. When our mental space is cluttered with a jumble of thoughts, it can be tough to find peace or clarity. Just imagine your mind like a sky filled with clouds. Some days it's stormy and overcast. Other days it's clear and sunny. The key to finding that sunny clarity is understanding that thoughts, much like clouds, are transient. They come and go, but they don't have to define your sky. Stoicism teaches us not to get attached to our passing thoughts. It encourages us to view these thoughts as external events, much like the weather. You wouldn't try to stop a cloud from moving across the sky, right? Similarly, trying to block or control every thought isn't just exhausting, it's futile. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius often spoke about observing thoughts without getting swept away by them. They saw the value in stepping back and realizing this is just a thought, and thoughts aren't facts. But how do you actually do that? It starts with awareness. Begin by simply noticing your thoughts. Picture yourself sitting by a stream, and each thought is a leaf floating by. Some leaves might catch your attention more than others, but instead of grabbing them and examining every detail, you just let them float by. This exercise isn't about emptying your mind, but rather about not letting yourself get carried away by every leaf that drifts past. Reflection, a tool for mental clarity. Another effective way to manage your mental clutter is through reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on the thoughts that dominated your mind. Were they necessary? Were they helpful? Did they improve your day, or did they make it more stressful? This kind of reflection can help you identify patterns in your thinking and learn which thoughts to let pass by more easily next time. The power of premeditatio malorum. Stoicism also introduces the concept of premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This technique involves visualizing the worst-case scenario in detail. It might sound counterintuitive, but by contemplating the worst, you often realize that even if it were to happen, you could handle it. This realization can take the power away from anxiety-inducing thoughts, allowing them to pass through your mind like harmless clouds, not ominous storm fronts. Freeing your mental space, integrating these Stoic practices into your daily life can transform the way you relate to your thoughts. You start to see that thoughts are not commands. They are merely suggestions, possibilities, and sometimes just noise. By not clinging to every thought, by not letting them dictate how you feel, you free up so much mental space. It's like cleaning up that cluttered room, and suddenly, you breathe easier, think clearer, and feel lighter. The illusion of control. Imagine you're driving on a highway and suddenly you find yourself in thick fog. Your first instinct might be to grip the steering wheel tighter and try to control the vehicle with even more precision. It's a natural response, but sometimes what we really need to do is slow down, turn on the fog lights, and trust that we'll make it through the haze safely. This is a lot like how we handle the uncertainties of life. We often cling to the illusion of control, thinking that if we just hold on tighter, we can manage everything perfectly. But just like driving in fog, sometimes the best approach is to ease up, not tighten our grip. The Stoic art of letting go. Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided many through the complexities of life, teaches us this art of letting go gracefully. The Stoics believed that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. This idea is liberating because it shifts our focus from trying to control the uncontrollable to mastering what's within our reach, our actions, our responses, our attitude. Take, for example, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who famously said, "Some things are in our control and others are not." He encouraged his students to discern between these two realms and to invest their energy wisely. This distinction is crucial in everyday life. What's within your control? When you find yourself overthinking or stressing over something, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it isn't, then it's a signal that you might need to let go of the wheel a bit. Letting go doesn't mean giving up responsibility. It means understanding the limits of your control and focusing on what you can actually influence. It's about doing your best with what's in your hands, and then stepping back when there's nothing more to be done. This can apply to anything from work projects and personal relationships to managing health or financial plans. Practical Stoic habits. One practical way to cultivate this mindset is through reflection and acceptance. At the end of each day, reflect on the moments when you felt the urge to control outcomes. What triggered these feelings? How did you respond? By regularly examining your reactions, you begin to see patterns and learn new ways to let go and trust the process more. Amor fati, loving your fate. Another Stoic practice that can help is the concept of amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This doesn't just mean accepting whatever happens. It's about embracing it as if you had chosen it yourself. It's a powerful way to let go of resistance and make peace with the way things are. Imagine facing a difficult situation, and instead of resenting it, you say, "This is exactly what I need." This shift in perspective can transform challenges into opportunities for growth and personal development. Embracing the idea that control isn't everything might feel daunting at first. It can seem like you're leaving too much up to chance. However, the more you practice letting go, the more you realize that it leads to a deeper sense of peace and confidence. You start to trust that, like driving through fog with your fog lights on, you'll navigate through life's uncertainties more effectively. Not by grasping tighter, but by steering with a steadier, more trusting hand. Have you ever noticed how, when things start to spin out of control, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid? It's like your body's natural alarm system alerting you that something's off. And just by changing how you breathe, you can actually calm that chaos inside. This is more than just a cool trick. It's a fundamental practice that can bring you back from the edges of stress and overthinking to a state of calm and clarity. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to approach life's challenges with a composed and rational mind. One of the most immediate things we can control is our breath. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about mastering one's reactions to external events. He knew that the first step to gaining control over your reactions is to stabilize your physical state, starting with your breath. So, let's break down how this works. When you start to feel overwhelmed, pause. Close your eyes if you can and focus on taking a deep, slow breath. Inhale through your nose, counting to 4. Hold that breath for a count of 4, then exhale slowly through your mouth for another count of 4. This method is known as the 4-4-4 breathing technique, or box breathing. It's used by everyone, from athletes to Navy SEALs to combat stress in high-pressure situations. What it does is help regulate the nervous system, slow the heart rate, and give you a moment of pause, allowing your mind to regroup and refocus. The act of observing your breath also plays a crucial role in this practice. By paying attention to the rise and fall of your chest or the sensation of air passing through your nostrils, you anchor yourself in the present moment. This is key in Stoicism. The focus on being fully present and engaged in the now. It's about observing without judgment. When you notice thoughts creeping in, instead of engaging with them or trying to push them away, simply acknowledge their presence and gently bring your focus back to your breathing. This isn't about clearing your mind of thoughts. It's about not letting those thoughts steer your emotions and reactions. Integrating breathing exercises into your daily routine can dramatically change how you interact with the world around you. It's like installing a mental reset button. Whenever you find yourself starting to overthink, or when you're faced with a stressful situation, hitting that button can give you the clarity and calm needed to handle anything more effectively. Moreover, regular practice of mindful breathing can cultivate a habit of mindfulness. Over time, you'll find that this not only helps in moments of acute stress, but also contributes to a more sustained, overall sense of peace and stability. It trains your mind to live less in hypothetical worries and more in the real, tangible moments that make up your life. This Stoic practice of anchoring your mind through breath is empowering because it's always available to you, no matter where you are or what situation you're in. Your breath is a tool that you carry within yourself. By learning to focus on and control your breathing, you're not just learning to calm your mind, you're learning to align yourself with Stoic principles of self-mastery and resilience. Sometimes, when you look around your living space or scroll through your digital world, you might feel a bit overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff. From cluttered desktops to overflowing closets, it's easy to see how the physical can reflect and even affect the mental. In a world where more always seems better, it might seem counterintuitive to think that having less could actually make you happier and more at peace. But there's a powerful freedom in stripping back to the essentials, and this is where the Stoic practice of minimalism can really shine. Stoicism teaches us the value of focusing on what's truly important and letting go of the rest. This philosophy isn't just about enduring hardship or suppressing desires. It's about creating space for what genuinely enriches your life. Epictetus urged his followers to keep their lives simple and to avoid getting caught up in the pursuit of wealth or possessions. He believed that peace comes from within and that external circumstances have only as much power as we grant them. Decluttering your physical space, embracing a minimalist lifestyle, can start with your physical environment. Take a good look around your home. Each item you own requires a piece of your attention, whether for cleaning, maintenance, or just choosing what to wear or use. By reducing the number of possessions, you reduce these demands on your attention, which can lead to a quieter, more focused mind. This doesn't mean living with nothing. Rather, it means keeping things that serve a purpose or bring you joy and parting with the rest. Simplifying beyond the physical. But simplifying isn't just about decluttering your physical space. It's also about streamlining your commitments and your digital life. In our hyper-connected world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by endless notifications, social media feeds, and the pressure to stay constantly informed. By setting boundaries around your digital consumption, like specific times when you check emails or social media, you give yourself permission to disconnect and focus on the present. This kind of digital minimalism can help you regain control over where and how you spend your mental energy. The connection between minimalism and Stoicism. The Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control is deeply connected to minimalism. By simplifying your life, you're stripping away the non-essentials that you can't control and focusing more deeply on what you can, your actions, your work, your relationships. This shift in focus can dramatically decrease feelings of stress and overthinking because you're no longer spreading yourself too thin across too many concerns. Furthermore, minimalism fosters a sense of gratitude. When you live with less, you tend to appreciate more. This is a key Stoic practice, focusing on being thankful for what you have, rather than resenting what you don't. Each item, each activity, and each interaction has more value and meaning when it's chosen with intention rather than by default. Starting the journey toward a minimalist lifestyle can be as simple as choosing one area of your life to simplify. Maybe it's your wardrobe, committing to a capsule collection of garments that you love. Or perhaps it's your schedule, deciding to say no to commitments that don't align with your values or bring you satisfaction. Each small step not only adds to your immediate peace, but also builds your confidence in your ability to live according to Stoic principles. Isn't it fascinating how the only thing we can truly count on in life is change? Yet so often, it's the thing we resist the most. We build our routines, our habits, and our expectations around predictability, and when things inevitably shift, it can throw us off balance. But what if we could not only expect change, but welcome it with open arms? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism can make a profound impact on our lives. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has endured through the centuries, teaches us to embrace the impermanence of life. The Stoics believed that by accepting that everything is in flux, we can rise above the tumult of our ever-changing world and find true peace of mind. Seneca, one of the most celebrated Stoic philosophers, wrote extensively about the inevitability of change and the importance of being as flexible in mind as nature is in its expressions. To start integrating this mindset, consider the nature around you. The way the seasons change seamlessly from spring blooms to summer heat, to the falling leaves of autumn, and finally, to the quiet cold of winter. Each season has its purpose and its beauty. Just as we accept and adapt to these seasonal shifts, we can learn to do the same with changes in our lives. Whether it's a sudden job change, a move to a new city, or shifts within personal relationships. Viewing these changes as natural and necessary can significantly reduce our anxiety and overthinking about the unknown. But how do we put this into practice? It starts with letting go of our attachment to outcomes. While it's natural to want certain results from our efforts, attaching our happiness to these outcomes can set us up for disappointment. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our actions and intentions, leaving the results to unfold as they will. This doesn't mean we don't strive or plan. Rather, it means we detach our well-being from the results of our action. Moreover, embracing change involves recognizing the opportunities that come with new circumstances. Every change brings with it the chance to learn something new, to grow, and to expand our horizons. When we open ourselves up to the possibilities that change can bring, we shift from feeling victimized by circumstances to becoming active participants in our own lives. This proactive stance is empowering. It transforms our experience from one of passivity to one of engagement and adventure. Another Stoic strategy to help cope with change is the practice of reflection and preparation. The Stoics recommended regularly contemplating potential changes and challenges that could arise. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, helps prepare the mind to face possible future scenarios without fear. By mentally rehearsing how you might handle difficult situations, you build emotional resilience and flexibility, making you better equipped to deal with change when it occurs. In embracing change, it's also crucial to maintain a support network of friends and family who can provide different perspectives and emotional support during times of transition. Stoicism doesn't advocate going through life's ups and downs alone. Rather, it encourages building and relying on a community. This support not only helps buffer the stresses that come with change, but also enriches the journey, making the process of adapting not just bearable, but enjoyable. Did you know that most of us are only tapping into a fraction of our true potential? That's right. Somewhere beneath the daily grind, the endless to-dos, and the comfort of routine lies a powerhouse of untapped strength and capabilities. It's like discovering an old dusty lamp in your attic, only to realize it's been a treasure chest all along. This is the kind of rut that sneaks up on all of us from time to time. But here's where it gets interesting. According to Stoic philosophy, we're not just passive observers of our lives. We're the architects. Stoicism teaches us that our potential is a powerful force, shaped moment by moment through our actions and decisions. It's not enough to recognize your potential. You have to live it, breathe it, and make choices every day that reflect it. Now, let's get real for a moment. If you feel like you're not living up to your full potential, you're not alone. It's a common feeling, but common doesn't mean harmless. It's a sign, a nudge, really, that it's time to wake up, to shake off the dust of complacency, and to start steering your life with intention and purpose. Why settle for just getting by when you could be shooting for the stars? So, why do we get stuck? It's often because we're avoiding discomfort. We stick to routines, to the known paths because they're safe. But Stoicism invites us to look beyond comfort, to see the growth that comes from challenge, from pushing beyond our limits. It's about being proactive, about facing life head-on with courage and resilience. This isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. Think about this. Every day, you have a choice. You can continue to live as you are, or you can take a step, however small, towards something greater. It's not about massive leaps or overnight success. It's about gradual, consistent effort. And yes, it's tough. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but isn't a bit of discomfort worth it if it means realizing your true potential? That's what we're diving into today. How to step out of the shadow of mediocrity and into the light of your greatest potential. How to live not just any life, but a life filled with purpose, achievement, and true fulfillment. And if you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple, free favor I'll ask. Hit that subscribe button. Let's explore how to make every day a testament to what you are truly capable of achieving. No more excuses, no more waiting for the perfect moment. It starts now. Let's talk about a trap so many of us fall into without even realizing it. Mediocrity. It's a silent, creeping fog that envelops life so gradually you might not notice until you're completely engulfed. It's settling for good enough instead of pushing for great. And it's not about shaming ourselves or others for not being overachievers. It's about recognizing when we're holding back from our true potential. You see, mediocrity isn't just about lack of achievement or settling into the lower tiers of your abilities. It's more insidious. It shows up in the excuses we make for why we can't move forward, in the procrastination of tasks that could lead to improvement, and in the comfort zone that keeps us from stepping into challenges. It's the, "I'll start Monday," or "I'm just not good at this." It's these small, seemingly benign thoughts and actions that cement a mediocre life. The Stoics, however, had a powerful antidote to this plight. They believed in living according to virtue and reason, striving to reach a state of moral and philosophical self-mastery that transcends the ordinary. For them, the pursuit of a virtuous life was the pursuit of the best version of oneself. They challenged themselves to turn obstacles into opportunities and regarded every hardship as a chance to practice virtues like courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. Incorporating this Stoic mindset can shift how we perceive and tackle mediocrity. It's about asking yourself, am I acting out of habit or choice? Is this truly all I am capable of? Or am I capable of more? These questions aren't meant to criticize, but to awaken. They're prompts that push us to reflect and then act with more intention. When we live stoically, we live deliberately. We make choices that are not just easy or convenient, but that are aligned with our greatest good and our most authentic selves. So, how do we break free from the rut of mediocrity? It starts with awareness. Acknowledge where you're accepting less than you deserve or could achieve. Maybe it's in your job, where you do the bare minimum because the passion has fizzled out, or in your relationships, where you hold back from deeper connection due to fear of vulnerability, or perhaps it's in your personal goals, which you've put on indefinite hold. Once you identify these areas, challenge them, not all at once, but little by little. Set goals that scare you a bit. Reach out to someone who inspires you. Take up a project that requires you to learn and grow. The key is consistent, incremental effort. And yes, there will be failures and setbacks. But remember, as the Stoics teach, it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Each setback is a chance to learn, to adjust, and to try again with a deeper understanding, strength, and resolve. And let's not forget about the company we keep. Just as mediocrity can be contagious, so too can ambition and growth. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who encourage you, who help you to rise up. Community is a powerful catalyst for transformation. In a group where excellence is nurtured, you'll find it hard not to grow. We all have that voice inside our head, the one that whispers doubts and feeds on our fears. It's like a constant companion whose favorite hobby is talking us out of our dreams and aspirations. But here's the thing. That voice, your inner critic, doesn't have to dictate your life. It's time to take back control, to silence the doubts, and to transform the way you engage with yourself. The Stoics had a fascinating approach to dealing with the internal dialogue that holds us back. They taught that we should not be disturbed by our thoughts because they are not the truth of who we are. They are merely impressions that come and go. Instead, they encouraged us to question our initial reactions to things, to challenge the validity of those negative whispers, and to respond with reason and virtue. This is where the practice of prose, or attention, becomes vital. It involves being mindful of our thoughts and the judgments we make about them, ensuring they align with our true character and aspirations. And now, think about how often you've caught yourself saying, "I can't do this, I'm not good enough," or "I'm just not cut out for this." These statements are your inner critic's way of keeping you within the bounds of what's comfortable. But growth, as we know from Stoic wisdom, is born from discomfort. By recognizing these thoughts as mere opinions, not facts, you empower yourself to challenge and change them. How do you practically kill your inner critic? Start by observing your thoughts as an outsider. When a negative thought arises, pause and reflect. Is this thought helpful? Does it align with my goals? Is it a rational response or an emotional one steeped in fear? This practice, inspired by the Stoic exercise of reflection, allows you to detach from harmful self-criticism and respond with a more rational, compassionate perspective. Let's also talk about the power of counter-narratives. For every critical thought that arises, actively construct a positive counterpart. If your mind says you're going to fail, counter it with, "I have prepared as best as I can, and I will learn from whatever comes." This isn't about sugarcoating reality. It's about providing a balanced view that includes your strengths and capabilities. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us to embrace challenges as opportunities to test and refine our virtues. So when your inner critic tries to steer you away from a challenge, see it as an opportunity to practice courage and perseverance. Each time you confront a fear or doubt, you weaken the hold your inner critic has on you and strengthen your commitment to personal excellence. It's also helpful to cultivate an environment that reinforces your new mindset. Surround yourself with affirmations, whether they be quotes from your favorite Stoic philosophers, reminders of your past successes, or simple affirmations of your worth and capability. These serve as constant reminders of your path and help drown out the noise of your inner critic. Lastly, remember that silencing your inner critic is a journey, not a one-time event. It requires patience, persistence, and a lot of self-compassion. Mistakes will be made, and that's okay. What's important is that you keep moving forward. Keep challenging those negative thoughts, and keep aligning your actions with your true potential. Stepping out of your comfort zone might sound like a cliche plastered over countless motivational posters and self-help books, but there's profound truth hidden in those words, especially when viewed through the lens of Stoicism. The Stoics weren't just philosophers, they were practitioners of life, and they believed deeply in the value of testing one's spirit against the friction of the world. It's in the struggle, they argued, that we find our true strength. Let's break down what this means in everyday terms. Discomfort isn't just about physical strain or emotional stress. It's about confronting the parts of life that you instinctively want to avoid. It could be as simple as waking up an hour earlier to meditate or exercise, or as challenging as speaking up in a meeting when you'd rather blend into the background. These moments of discomfort are actually opportunities, golden tickets to the kind of personal growth that creates lasting change. When you deliberately choose discomfort, you're doing something quite revolutionary. You're saying to yourself and the world that you're not content to remain stagnant. You're echoing the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort, where you might choose to wear simpler clothes, eat simpler food, or expose yourself to the cold, not as a punishment, but as a way to remind yourself that you can handle less than optimal conditions, and thus you are stronger than you think. The beauty of embracing discomfort in this controlled way is that it prepares you for life's unpredictable challenges. Think about it. If you make it a habit to push your boundaries in small, everyday ways, you're building up a resilience that's akin to a muscle. Then, when life throws something truly difficult your way, a job loss, a tough diagnosis, a personal setback, you're better equipped to handle it. You're not easily knocked down because you've practiced standing up again and again. Moreover, Stoicism teaches that our character is shaped not by our thoughts alone, but by our repeated actions. Each time you choose to step into discomfort, you're sculpting a version of yourself that's a bit tougher, a bit braver, a bit wiser. And over time, these qualities accumulate, crafting a persona that not only survives challenges, but thrives through them. To start integrating this practice into your life, begin with something small. Identify one thing that you've been avoiding because it feels uncomfortable or challenging. Set a goal to tackle it this week. Maybe it's initiating a difficult conversation you've been putting off, or committing to a public speaking engagement despite your fear of crowds. Notice the resistance that comes up, the excuses, the justifications, and gently remind yourself of your ability to endure and adapt. As you do this, it's crucial to maintain a mindset of curiosity and non-judgment. Observe how you feel before, during, and after the experience. What did you learn? How did your perception of the challenge change? How did your perception of yourself change? These reflections are invaluable, as they help solidify the lessons learned from each experience of discomfort. Remember, embracing discomfort is not about tormenting yourself or seeking out pain for pain's sake. It's about expanding your boundaries, one small step at a time, in ways that enhance your life and deepen your character. It's about living in accordance with Stoic principles that value growth and resilience over comfort and ease. This approach doesn't just prepare you for life's challenges, it transforms them into the very experiences that shape a bold, capable, and virtuous life. One of the most powerful tools in your personal development arsenal is accountability. It's like having a workout buddy for your goals. You know the feeling. When someone else is counting on you, you're way less likely to hit snooze or skip out. But here's the twist. In the journey toward living your best life, you're not just accountable to others. You're primarily accountable to yourself. And that's where the real growth happens. In Stoicism, there's a heavy emphasis on personal responsibility and self-discipline. The Stoics believe that our character and our lives are the results of our choices. They teach us to own these choices and to face the consequences with courage and integrity. This sense of responsibility toward oneself is fundamental because it underpins everything. From your daily routines to your life's ambitions, let's talk about how you can enhance your sense of accountability. It starts with making your goals visible. Write them down, not in a private journal tucked away in a drawer, but somewhere you can see them every day. It could be a big whiteboard in your room, a note on your fridge, or even a digital reminder that pops up on your phone. Visibility reminds you of your commitments and helps keep them at the forefront of your mind. Next, integrate regular check-ins on your progress. This could be a weekly review where you sit down and ask yourself some hard questions. What did I accomplish this week? Where did I fall short? What can I do differently moving forward? These sessions aren't about beating yourself up for missed targets or lapses. Instead, they're opportunities for honest, constructive self-reflection, a practice deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics were all about self-examination and learning from every action and outcome. Sharing your goals with someone else can also magnify your commitment. Choose a friend, a family member, or even a mentor. Someone who will not just cheer for you but will also call you out when you're off track. This creates a layer of external accountability, which can be incredibly motivating. It's about creating a social contract where you feel a sense of duty not to let the other person down, which in turn strengthens your resolve to meet your own expectations. In addition to involving others, there's a Stoic method that can be particularly effective: envisioning the ideal version of yourself. Seneca, one of the prominent Stoic philosophers, encouraged frequent contemplation of one's highest potential. By regularly imagining yourself as the person you aspire to become, you create a mental benchmark for your actions. Ask yourself regularly, is what I'm doing right now aligning with the virtues of the person I strive to be? This mental modeling acts as a North Star, guiding your daily choices and efforts. Let's not underestimate the power of setting up a system that rewards your progress. The rewards don't have to be extravagant. They just need to acknowledge your efforts and successes. This could be as simple as treating yourself to a favorite meal, taking a day off to relax, or buying that small thing you've been eyeing for a while. Rewards reinforce positive behavior and make the journey enjoyable, which is essential because, let's face it, the path to self-improvement can be tough and demanding. It's often said that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This saying has more truth to it than you might realize at first glance. The people around us have a profound impact on our thoughts, behaviors, and ultimately, our success. But it's not just about success in the conventional sense. It's about growing as a person, cultivating wisdom, and building a life that's rich in character and satisfaction. Stoic philosophy places a strong emphasis on community and relationships because the Stoics understood that humans are inherently social creatures. We influence each other in countless ways, many of which are subtle and subconscious. Seneca, a renowned Stoic thinker, advised choosing friends who embody the traits we wish to develop, suggesting that their characteristics would naturally rub off on us. By surrounding ourselves with people who are wise, virtuous, and purpose-driven, we are more likely to adopt these qualities ourselves. Think about the people you spend most of your time with. Are they ambitious, optimistic, and resilient? Do they challenge you to think differently, push your boundaries, and question your assumptions? Or do they uphold the status quo, resist change, and nurture negativity? It's essential to make these assessments honestly and decide if your circle is pulling you forward or holding you back. Creating a powerful network doesn't mean you need to start cutting people out of your life ruthlessly. Instead, it's about consciously deciding to spend more time with those who inspire you and support your growth. This can mean reaching out to mentors, joining clubs or groups aligned with your interests, or even connecting with like-minded individuals online. The key is to engage with people who not only support your goals but also encourage you to surpass them. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us about the importance of contributing to our community. It's not just about what you can get from your relationships, but also what you can give. Being a valuable member of your network involves offering support, sharing knowledge, and being genuinely happy for others' successes. The more you invest in your relationships, the richer your interactions become, and the more profound their impact on your life. This concept of mutual growth is vital. As you strive to be the best version of yourself, you should also seek to uplift those around you. This can be through simple actions like providing a listening ear, offering encouragement during challenging times, or sharing resources that have helped you. Each of these actions strengthens your connections and builds a network that is not just beneficial, but also meaningful. Remember, your network extends beyond just friends and family. It includes everyone, from your colleagues and acquaintances to the people you meet at events and conferences. Each interaction is an opportunity to learn something new and to leave a positive impression. Approach each conversation with curiosity and respect, qualities much admired by the Stoics, and you will find that building a strong network is a rewarding endeavor in itself. Did you know that the secret to transforming your life's biggest challenges into your greatest opportunities might have been discovered over 2,000 years ago? Imagine facing life's storms with a calm so powerful that nothing could shake your inner peace. Sounds like a superpower, right? Well, it's not just a fantasy. This ancient superpower is an age-old philosophy that's as practical today as it was in the bustling markets and marble halls of ancient Rome and Greece. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control every aspect of our lives, we have absolute power over how we choose to react. And in today's world, where uncertainty seems to be the only certainty, these teachings could be the anchor we've all been searching for. So, whether you're dealing with stress, facing adversity, or simply looking to find more joy in the everyday, stick around. Today, we're diving deep into Stoicism, uncovering its timeless wisdom, and discovering how it can transform not just the way we think, but the way we live. 1. Focusing on what's in your control. Have you ever found yourself stuck in traffic, fuming over the delay, or scrolling through your phone only to get upset over a negative comment someone left on your post? It happens to the best of us. It's almost like our day-to-day life is filled with these little tests, challenging our mood and peace of mind at every turn. But here's a game-changing perspective from the world of Stoicism that can turn all that frustration on its head. Stoicism, this incredible philosophy that dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, hands us a powerful tool, focusing on what's in our control. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that for a second. Traffic, bad weather, negative comments, these are all outside our control. We can't change them, no matter how much we wish we could. What we can change, however, is how we react to them. This idea isn't just ancient wisdom, it's backed by modern psychology too. Carl Jung, a giant in the field of psychology, famously stated, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." This aligns perfectly with this practice. It's about recognizing that the only real power we have is over our own reactions, thoughts, and actions. Let's break it down a bit. Say you're in that traffic jam, late for an important meeting. You can spend that time stewing in anger, honking your horn, and stressing out, which, let's be honest, won't make the cars ahead move any faster. Or you can take a deep breath, accept the situation, and maybe use the time to listen to a podcast, an audiobook, or simply enjoy some music. The traffic hasn't changed, but your response to it has. And with that shift, your stress levels drop, and your day looks a bit brighter. This principle of focusing on what you can control extends far beyond just dealing with traffic or weather. It applies to our personal goals, our reactions to others, and our approach to obstacles in life. As Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic heavyweight, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So, Next time you find yourself getting worked up over something outside your control, remember these wise words from our friends. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. Focus on your reaction, your mindset, and your actions. This simple shift can have a profound impact on your stress levels and overall happiness. It's not always easy, but it's worth practicing every day. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. And as we learn to focus more on what's in our control, we'll find ourselves not just surviving life's challenges, but thriving in spite of them. 2. Embracing obstacles as opportunities. Stoicism teaches us the art of embracing obstacles as opportunities. It sounds counterintuitive, right? Most of us are programmed to view obstacles as just that, barriers to our success and happiness. But Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus flip this narrative on its head. They tell us, when life throws you a curveball, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What can I learn?" This is a game changer. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, penned in his personal writings, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What he means here is that every obstacle, no matter how daunting, not only tests our resilience, but also teaches us valuable lessons. It's about finding the silver lining in tough situations and using it to fuel our growth. This perspective isn't just ancient philosophy, it's backed by modern thinkers too. The famous psychologist Carl Jung said, "What you resist persists." By fighting against obstacles, we give them more power over us. But by accepting and learning from them, we can overcome them. This mindset is about transforming challenges into stepping stones towards becoming stronger and wiser. Let's make it practical. Say you're facing rejection from job applications. It's easy to fall into a spiral of self-pity and doubt. But what if you viewed each rejection as feedback? Maybe there's a skill you need to improve, or a new strategy for your job search. That shift in perspective can turn a series of rejections into a path for professional development. Another example is personal conflicts. They're uncomfortable and stressful, but they also offer a chance to practice patience, empathy, and communication skills. Every disagreement is an opportunity to understand different viewpoints and refine our conflict resolution abilities. The essence of embracing obstacles as opportunities lies in asking ourselves, what can this situation teach me? Instead of being passive victims of circumstance, we become active learners and problem solvers. This doesn't mean that facing obstacles becomes easy, but it does mean that we approach them with a mindset geared toward growth and learning. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the heart of Stoicism. It's about seeing beyond the immediate pain or frustration of an obstacle and finding the lessons and opportunities it presents. So, when you're faced with a challenge, big or small, try to pause and reframe it. Ask yourself what you can learn from the situation and how it can make you stronger and wiser. Remember, obstacles aren't just hurdles to overcome, they're opportunities to grow. By adopting this mindset, we can navigate life's ups and downs with more grace, resilience, and wisdom. 3. Living in the present moment. It's something we hear about all the time, right? Live in the now. But what does that really mean, and why is it so important? Living in the present moment is about fully embracing and experiencing where you are at this very second, not letting your mind wander off to the worries of tomorrow or the regrets of yesterday. It's about realizing that life, with all its beauty, challenges, and surprises, happens in the now. This concept isn't new. It's been a cornerstone of philosophy, echoed by great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and reiterated by modern psychologists and thinkers. Let's start with the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." He understood that the power of living in the present lies in its ability to ground us, to clear our minds of distractions, and to allow us to appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds. But why is it so hard to stay present? Our minds are often cluttered with thoughts, worries about what's next, or replaying things that have already happened. This constant mental noise pulls us away from the beauty and potential of the here and now. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung put it, the least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Living in the present moment gives meaning to the small, everyday experiences, enriching our lives beyond measure. Aristotle talked about the importance of being mindful of the present to achieve eudaimonia, or a state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous. He believed that by focusing on the here and now, we could live a virtuous life, making the most of our human experience. So, how can we practice living in the present? It starts with mindfulness. The art of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you eat, savor each bite. When you walk, notice the feeling of the ground under your feet. Listen actively when someone is speaking to you, instead of planning what you're going to say next. These simple acts of mindfulness bring us back to the present, making our lives richer and more meaningful. Seneca offered this wisdom: "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." He understood that anxiety about what's to come or what has been only serves to diminish our happiness in the now. Living in the present isn't about ignoring the future or forgetting the past. It's about finding a balance where we learn from our past and plan for our future, without letting those activities consume our present. It's in this balance that we find peace and contentment. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to reset and refocus on the now. It's in the present that we live, love, and make memories. So, let's make a conscious effort to be more present in our lives. Let's cherish the now, for this moment, right here, is where life truly happens. 4. Building self-discipline. I know the word self-discipline might bring to mind images of rigid schedules and a life devoid of fun, but let's reshape that picture together. Self-discipline is not about restricting your life. It's about empowering yourself to make choices that align with your deepest values and long-term aspirations. It's choosing what's right for you, not what's easy in the moment. At its core, building self-discipline is about mastery over ourselves. It's about saying yes to things that serve us and no to things that don't, even when it's tough. Think about it, whether it's sticking to a workout routine, saving money instead of impulse buying, or turning off Netflix to focus on a project. These choices might not deliver instant gratification, but they pave the way for long-term satisfaction and success. Stoic philosophy has a lot to say about self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful statement highlights the essence of self-discipline. It's about controlling our impulses, emotions, and actions despite the external temptations and distractions that life throws our way. Seneca offers wisdom on the subject too. He advises us to be steadfast and control our desires, rather than being controlled by them. He understood that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to govern ourselves and our appetites. But why is self-discipline so critical? Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, sheds light on this. He believed that we achieve excellence and virtue through habit. By practicing self-discipline, we cultivate habits that lead us toward our best selves. It's not about occasional acts of willpower, but about consistently making choices that reflect our values and goals. Building self-discipline also ties into modern psychological understanding. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our personality to live fully. This integration requires self-discipline, as we must navigate the desires of different parts of our psyche, choosing paths that contribute to our overall well-being and growth. So, how can we build self-discipline in our daily lives? Start small. Pick one area you want to improve, whether it's your diet, exercise routine, or spending habits. Set clear, achievable goals and take it one day at a time. Remember, every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, you're building the muscle of self-discipline. Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Self-discipline is built through small, consistent actions. It's about progress, not perfection. Every day presents new opportunities to practice self-discipline, to choose actions that move us closer to who we want to be. Building self-discipline is a journey. It's about finding balance between what we want now and what we want most. It's about making choices that might be hard in the moment, but will bring us closer to our goals, happiness, and peace in the long run. Oh, let's commit to this journey together, supporting one another and choosing what's right, not what's easy. Remember, in the realm of self-discipline lies the path to achieving our dreams and living in the life we truly love. 5. Developing emotional resilience. When life throws its curveballs, we all experience a whirlwind of emotions. Feeling angry, sad, or frustrated is a natural part of being human. But here's the kicker. It's not just about the emotions we feel. It's about how we handle them. That's where the magic of emotional resilience comes in. Emotional resilience is like this superpower that allows us to navigate through life's storms with grace and come out stronger on the other side. It's about acknowledging our emotions, understanding them, and then taking positive steps to move forward, rather than being swept away by the tide of our feelings. The Stoics had a lot to say about this. Marcus Aurelius, for example, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound insight touches the essence of emotional resilience. It's about recognizing that while we might not have control over what happens to us, we have control over how we respond. Our emotions don't have to control our actions. Seneca offers wisdom on facing adversity without losing our composure. He teaches that life's hardships are tests of our character and resilience. By facing our feelings with understanding and patience, we can grow wiser and more robust. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. Aristotle spoke about the golden mean, finding the balance between excess and efficiency. This concept applies beautifully to emotional resilience. It's about finding a balanced response to our emotions, not suppressing them or letting them overpower us. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our psyche to achieve wholeness. Part of this process involves confronting our emotions, understanding them, and learning from them. This is at the heart of developing emotional resilience. So, what can you do when you're in the grip of strong emotions? First, give yourself permission to feel. Acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Then, take a step back. and try to understand what triggered these feelings. This reflection can provide valuable insights into your emotional patterns and triggers. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful reminder that our reactions to our emotions can shape our experiences. Instead of being reactive, we can choose to respond in a way that is constructive and healing. Developing emotional resilience is a journey. It involves practicing mindfulness, self-reflection, and patience. It's about building a toolkit of coping strategies, like journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or practicing relaxation techniques. Most importantly, it's about treating yourself with kindness and compassion as you navigate through your emotions. Emotional resilience is not about never feeling negative emotions. It's about learning to ride the waves of those emotions with grace and coming out on the other side stronger and more self-aware. By developing emotional resilience, we empower ourselves to face life's challenges with courage and poise. Let's embrace this journey together, supporting each other and becoming more emotionally resilient, and ultimately living a more fulfilling life. 6. Memento mori. Remember, you will pass away. The Stoics used this concept not to create fear, but to inspire a deeper appreciation for every moment. They believed that by keeping the inevitability of death in mind, we would live more fully, consciously, and with gratitude for the present. Marcus Aurelius in his meditations often reflected on the transience of life, encouraging us to live in a way that's true to our values and to make the most of the time we're given. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, he wrote. This isn't about being morose. It's a call to action, a reminder to focus on what truly matters, to let go of petty concerns, and to live with purpose and integrity. Seneca, too, spoke about the shortness of life, urging us not to waste time on trivialities, but to focus on creating a meaningful existence. He believed that being mindful of death encourages us to live more wisely and to cherish our relationships and experiences. Epictetus emphasized the importance of focusing on the present and making the best use of our time. By remembering that we won't live forever, we're more likely to live ethically and to appreciate the beauty and richness of life. How can we incorporate memento mori into our own lives without it feeling like a dark cloud over our heads? It starts with shifting our perspective. Instead of seeing the awareness of death as something fearful, we can view it as a powerful motivator to live our lives to the fullest. It's about embracing the present, not postponing our dreams or happiness for some undefined future that's not guaranteed. Think about the things you've been putting off. Maybe it's pursuing a passion, reconnecting with loved ones, or simply taking time to appreciate the small joys of everyday life. Memento mori reminds us not to take our time for granted. It encourages us to live more authentically, to say what we mean, to love openly, and to be present in our lives. This concept also teaches us to appreciate the impermanence of life, which in turn deepens our gratitude for the moments we have. When we remember that our time is limited, we're more likely to cherish our experiences, to live more mindfully, and to express our gratitude for the people and moments that enrich our lives. So, let's use memento mori, not as a source of fear, but as a catalyst for growth, gratitude, and a deeper appreciation of life. Let it remind us to make choices that align with our deepest values, to cherish our relationships, and to savor the beauty of the present moment. Remembering that we will die one day encourages us to live more fully today. In embracing memento mori, we find a powerful reminder to live, not in fear of death, but in celebration of life. Let's make every moment count, not because we're afraid of its end, but because we're in love with life itself. Let's live in a way that, when our time does come, we can look back with no regrets, knowing we lived fully, loved deeply, and appreciated the incredible journey that life is. 7. Practicing gratitude. It's fascinating how such a simple concept can profoundly impact our lives. Gratitude is about shifting our focus to what we have, rather than dwelling on what we're missing. This practice can be a real game changer, especially on those days that feel like an uphill battle. The Stoics, wise as they were, had a lot to say about gratitude. They believed that happiness doesn't come from having more, but from appreciating what we already have. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on the present and finding joy in the simple things. He said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This is gratitude in its purest form, recognizing the value of life itself and the many gifts it offers us each day. Seneca talked about how our desires can lead us astray, always chasing after more and never finding true satisfaction. He suggested that by focusing on what we have and understanding that the best things in life are already within our grasp, we can find real contentment. Epictetus, known for his followers to appreciate their current circumstances, whatever they might be, he believed that by accepting and finding value in our present situation, we could live a more fulfilled life. But how do we practice gratitude, especially when life throws curveballs our way? It starts with making it a daily habit. Each morning or evening, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a conversation with a friend, or the beauty of a sunset. This practice helps rewire our brains to focus on the positive, boosting our mood and overall outlook on life. Gratitude also means embracing challenges and finding lessons within them. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective helps us appreciate our experiences, both good and bad, as valuable steps on our journey. Moreover, practicing gratitude helps us build stronger connections with others. By expressing appreciation for the people in our lives, we not only brighten their day, but also strengthen our own resilience. A simple thank you can go a long way in showing someone that they're valued and loved. Aristotle spoke about the importance of recognizing the good in our lives and striving for a virtuous life. He believed that gratitude was key to achieving eudaimonia, or true happiness, as it allows us to appreciate the goodness around us and within ourselves. Even modern psychology supports the benefits of gratitude. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly experience less anxiety, sleep better, and have a more positive outlook on life. As Carl Jung said, the word happiness would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. By acknowledging and being grateful for the full spectrum of our experiences, we find a deeper, more authentic form of happiness. So let's make gratitude a cornerstone of our daily lives. Let's celebrate the small victories, cherish the moments of connection, and find joy in the simple pleasures. By focusing on what we have, not on what we're missing, we can cultivate a sense of abundance and happiness that shines from within. Remember, it's not happiness that brings us gratitude, it's gratitude that brings us happiness. Let's fill our glasses half full, raise them high, and toast to the beauty of gratitude in our lives. Cheers to finding the silver lining, even on the cloudiest of days. 8. Focusing on personal excellence. The Stoics had a profound understanding of personal excellence. They believed that excellence, or virtue, is the sole good, and that everything we do should aim toward living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, is a prime example of someone who strived for personal excellence. He once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates the essence of personal excellence. It's about embodying the values we admire and striving to live by them every day. Seneca emphasized the importance of self-improvement and continuous learning. He advocated for a life lived in accordance with nature and reason, suggesting that true excellence comes from within and is reflected in our actions and choices. Epictetus highlighted the role of personal responsibility in achieving excellence. He taught that our reactions, emotions, and will are within our control, and mastering them is key to living a life of virtue. But what does focusing on personal excellence look like in our day-to-day lives? It starts with setting personal standards based on our values and aspirations, not on societal expectations or the achievements of others. It's about knowing who we are, understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and taking consistent steps toward improvement. Personal excellence is also about resilience. It's about how we respond to setbacks and failures, not just our successes. As Aristotle said, excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. This means embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than seeing them as obstacles. Moreover, focusing on personal excellence involves cultivating a growth mindset, a concept championed by modern psychology. It's the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset encourages us to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and see effort as a path to mastery. Personal excellence also means living authentically. It's about being true to ourselves and our values, even when it's not easy. It's about making choices that reflect who we are and who we want to be, and taking pride in our journey, including both the struggles and the triumphs. Practicing gratitude, as we discussed earlier, ties into personal excellence too. By appreciating what we have and where we are on our journey, we foster a positive outlook that supports our growth and well-being. So let's commit to focusing on personal excellence. Let's set our own standards, embrace our unique paths, and take pride in our progress. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being proud of who we are and how we live. It's about celebrating our efforts, learning from our experiences, and always striving to be the best versions of ourselves. Together, let's make personal excellence not just a goal, but a way of life. 9. Not caring what others think. In a world saturated with social media, where likes, follows, and comments often dictate self-worth, it's easy to fall into the trap of valuing ourselves through the lens of others' opinions. But here's a liberating truth. Your worth isn't based on external validation. It's about being true to yourself, embracing your authenticity, and living in alignment with your values. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers we often turn to for timeless wisdom, had much to say about this. They taught that our inner peace and freedom come from focusing on what's within our control, our actions, our thoughts, and our integrity, not the ever-changing opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinions of others." This striking observation highlights a paradox many of us live with, valuing others' judgments over our own self-assessment. Seneca echoed this sentiment by emphasizing the importance of living a life true to oneself, not one shaped by the expectations or approval of others. He believed that true contentment comes from within, from living a life that aligns with our principles and values. Epictetus taught that worrying about others' opinions is outside our control and therefore not worth our energy. He encouraged focusing instead on our own actions and on living virtuously, as that's where our true power lies. So, how can we start caring less about what others think and more about being true to ourselves? First, understand that you are the author of your life story. You have the power to define your worth, not society, not your social media followers, nor the people around you. Ground your self-esteem in who you are, the values you stand for, the kindness you spread, and the effort you put into being your best self. Second, practice self-reflection. Ask yourself, whose life am I living? Am I making choices based on my desires, or am I trying to fit into someone else's mold? Reflecting on these questions can help realign your actions with your true self. Third, embrace vulnerability. Being true to yourself means being open about your flaws and all, understanding that we are reflections of our progress, making mistakes and learning from them. This authenticity attracts the right people into your life, those who appreciate the real you. Moreover, remember the words of Aristotle, who spoke about the golden mean, finding balance in life. Applying this to our concern for others' opinions means finding a healthy balance between considering constructive feedback and maintaining our autonomy and self-worth. Incorporating a Stoic mindset into our lives means understanding that our worth is determined by our virtues, our actions, and our commitment to living a meaningful life, not by external accolades or approval. It's about building a strong inner fortress that remains unshaken by the fleeting opinions of others. Let's commit to valuing ourselves for who we truly are, not for the likes, follows, or approval we receive. Let's be courageous in our authenticity, living lives that resonate with our deepest truths. Remember, your worth is inherent and unique. By being true to yourself, you shine your light in the most genuine way possible. Let's not just navigate life, but thrive in it, with the confidence that comes from knowing we are living authentically, aligned with our values, and true to ourselves. 10. Accepting change. Here's the thing, accepting change is not just necessary, it's vital for our growth and happiness. The reality is, the only constant in life is change. Learning to go with the flow and embrace life's inevitable shifts makes navigating them less scary and more of an adventure. The Stoics had an incredibly healthy perspective on change. They saw it as a natural part of the universe's rhythm. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" This profound acceptance of change as part of life's fabric helps us understand that each change, whether we perceive it as good or bad, has its place in our story. Seneca taught that becoming too attached to our current circumstances can lead to disappointment because inevitably those circumstances will change. He advised us to be flexible and to understand that change is not just a part of life, but a necessary component of our personal development and happiness. Epictetus encouraged us to distinguish between what we can control and what we can't. While we can't control our attitudes towards them, this mindset is incredibly empowering when it comes to dealing with change. It's about focusing on our responses, finding opportunities for growth within the change, and moving forward with resilience. But how can we become more accepting of change? First, by acknowledging that change is inevitable. It's the natural order of things. Everything around us is in a constant state of flux. Seasons change, people come and go, and our very selves are renewing themselves as we speak. Embracing change means embracing life itself. Second, by practicing mindfulness. Being present in the moment allows us to appreciate our current experiences without clinging to them. This awareness creates space for acceptance when those experiences inevitably evolve or come to an end. Third, by seeking the lessons in change. Every shift in our lives, no matter how challenging, comes with opportunities to learn and grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective can turn the challenges of change into stepping stones for personal development. Aristotle spoke about the importance of pursuing a virtuous life as the key to happiness. A part of virtue is adaptability, the ability to navigate life's changes with grace and wisdom. It's about finding balance and harmony within the flux of life. Modern psychology supports this Stoic approach to change. Viewing change as an opportunity rather than a threat can significantly reduce stress and anxiety levels. It enhances our resilience, making us better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way. Let's remind ourselves that change is not just something to endure, but to welcome as a natural, enriching part of our journey. By accepting change, we open ourselves to new experiences, growth, and the beautiful unfolding of our unique paths in life. Remember, going with the flow isn't about passivity. It's about actively engaging with life in its full dynamic complexity. Let's navigate the currents of change with courage, grace, and a heart open to the endless possibilities that change brings. 11. Practicing compassion and empathy. Despite our differences, we're all in this together, navigating the complex journey of life. By fostering an understanding and caring attitude toward others, we contribute to making the world a kinder, more loving place. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who continue to enlighten us with their timeless wisdom, placed great importance on the virtues of compassion and empathy. They believed in the interconnectedness of all humans and taught that kindness and understanding toward others are essential aspects of living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, reminded us that human beings are social creatures by nature, meant to live in harmony and cooperation with one another. He said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." This beautifully illustrates the idea that our well-being is intrinsically linked to the well-being of others. Seneca emphasized the importance of treating others with kindness and generosity. He argued that compassion is a natural human instinct, and that by helping others, we also help ourselves. In his writings, Seneca encourages us to extend our empathy, even to those who have wronged us, understanding that they too are acting out of their own struggles and limitations. Epictetus taught that we should strive to understand others' perspectives, recognizing that everyone has their reasons for their actions. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather approaching others with a mindset of empathy, seeking to understand their experiences and viewpoints. But how can we practice compassion and empathy in our daily lives? It starts with listening, truly listening, to the stories, experiences, and feelings of those around us. It's about putting ourselves in their shoes, imagining their struggles, their joys, their fears, and their hopes. This act of understanding can bridge the gap between us, fostering a sense of connection and shared humanity. Another way to cultivate compassion and empathy is through acts of kindness, no matter how small. A smile, a kind word, a listening ear. These can all make a significant difference in someone's day. By being present and attentive to others, we signal that they matter, that their feelings and experiences are valid and important. Practicing compassion and empathy also means being there for others in times of need, offering support and understanding without judgment. It's about recognizing the value and dignity of every person, regardless of our differences. The ancient philosopher Aristotle spoke about the importance of friendship and the role of empathy in building strong, meaningful relationships. He believed that true friends not only share in each other's joys, but also in their sorrows, supporting each other with empathy and understanding. Modern psychology supports the Stoic emphasis on compassion and empathy, showing that these virtues not only enhance our relationships, but also our own emotional well-being. By caring for others, we foster a sense of belonging, purpose, and happiness in our own lives. Let's remind ourselves that behind every face is a story. Behind every action is a reason. By understanding and caring for each other, we make the world a kinder, gentler place. In doing so, we not only enrich the lives of those around us, but also find deeper fulfillment and joy in our own lives. Together, let's spread kindness like confetti, creating ripples of compassion that transform the world, one act of empathy at a time. 12. Reflecting and reviewing regularly. This is about taking a pause, a real, meaningful pause, to look back on our actions, our thoughts, and the paths we've tread. It's about growth, introspection, and aligning our lives with our deepest values. In a world that's always rushing forward, this practice is our anchor, ensuring we're not just being swept away, but are sailing in the direction that's true to us. The Stoics, with their profound insights into human nature, placed immense value on the practice of reflection. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, which we now treasure as meditations, offered a model of this practice. He didn't just rule an empire, he took the time to examine his life, his decisions, and his moral compass through writing. He saw this reflection as essential to living a life of virtue and purpose. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, he wrote, reminding us that our internal dialogue shapes our external reality. Seneca recommended regular self-assessment as a way to foster self-improvement and wisdom. He likened life to a play, suggesting that we periodically review our roles and performances. Are we acting in harmony with the character we wish to embody? Are our actions reflective of the script we value? The script of our lives? Epictetus encouraged his students to end each day with a review of their actions and attitudes. This wasn't about self-criticism, but about self-awareness and growth. He urged us to ask ourselves, what did I do well? What did I do wrong? What duties were left undone? Through such questions, we can steer our lives more consciously, making adjustments that bring us closer to our ideals. But how do we incorporate this practice of reflection and review into our modern lives? First, by making it a habit. Dedicate a few minutes each day, perhaps before bedtime, to reflect on your day. What were your victories? Where did you face challenges, and how did you respond? This practice can start as a mental exercise, but writing it down can enhance its benefits, giving you a tangible record of your journey. Second, use reflection as a tool for gratitude. In reviewing your day, also take note of the moments, no matter how small, that brought you joy or gratitude. This balances our natural tendency to focus on the negative, cultivating a more positive outlook on life. Third, approach this practice with kindness and compassion toward yourself. Reflection is not about berating yourself for mistakes, but about recognizing them as opportunities for learning and growth. Be as understanding and supportive to yourself as you would be to a dear friend. Aristotle spoke about the importance of living a reflective life. He believed that true wisdom comes from understanding ourselves, our actions, and our place in the world. This reflection is the essence of living an examined life, one that's in accordance with virtue and excellence. Every day, we carry invisible weights, habits that drag us down, cloud our minds, and distract us from the truly important things in life. It's time to let go of these burdens and embrace the clarity and focus that comes with a Stoic way of thinking. Let me take a moment to remind you that this journey we're on together is all about transformation. It's about growing, becoming the best version of ourselves, and breaking free from the habits, mindsets, and barriers that have been holding us back. And today, we're tackling a big one, a life-altering topic that can change the course of your future. We're going to explore 4 things you have to stop doing immediately. These aren't just simple mistakes, fleeting bad habits, or temporary setbacks. These are the subtle yet powerful forces that prevent you from reaching your full potential. They block your progress and prevent you from living the life you're capable of living. These habits, if you stop them today, will free you from your past and accelerate you toward your future. I know that each one of us has dreams, goals, and ambitions. Some of those dreams may feel so far out of reach, but I'm here to tell you, they're not. They're waiting for you to step into them. Today, we're going to uncover the 4 things that are keeping you from stepping fully into your power. As we dive into these transformative insights, remember, if you find value in peeling back these layers and discovering new paths to your personal best, hitting that subscribe button helps us bring more of this content to you. It's free, and it ensures you don't miss out on any part of this journey to empowerment. And don't skip any part of the video. Every second is designed to help you grow stronger, more focused, and resilient, just like the Stoics of old. Are you ready to make some significant changes? Let's get started and shed these 4 critical habits for a brighter, more fulfilling tomorrow. You might not realize it, but every time you let a shadow of doubt creep into your thoughts, you're stepping back from the life you're meant to lead. Doubt is sneaky. It's like that quiet voice at a party that keeps whispering, "You're not quite right. You don't really belong. You're just not good enough." But here's a Stoic truth for you. Doubt is only as powerful as the attention you give it. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we can't. Your thoughts? They're yours to shape. Think about the times when doubt has held you back from taking a chance. Maybe it stopped you from applying for that job, asking that question, or starting a new project. Now, imagine what could have unfolded if you had pushed past that doubt. It's all about perception. Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus weren't free from doubt because they were supremely confident. No, they learned to challenge the validity of their doubts and focus on their strengths. Let's break it down. Self-doubt often comes from our fear of failure, of not meeting expectations, ours or someone else's. But what if you viewed potential failure not as a setback, but as a step forward? After all, every attempt, successful or not, teaches us something vital. It's about learning to trust the process, embracing each experience as a part of your growth. Think of doubt as a signal, not a stop sign. It's telling you where you need to focus, where there's room to expand and improve. Now, consider the idea that you are the writer of your own life script. Each time doubt starts scripting stories of fear and failure, grab that pen and rewrite it with stories of strength and resilience. Remember, no great story is complete without challenges, without moments where the hero could have turned back. Yet, it's not the doubts they faced that define their stories, but their decision to keep going despite them. Another Stoic practice to help manage doubt involves preparation and reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on your actions and thoughts. Where did doubt creep in? How did you handle it? Could you have managed it differently? This reflection isn't about judging yourself harshly, but about preparing better for future encounters with doubt. The Stoics were big on journaling, using it as a tool to reflect and gain clarity. This doesn't have to be a lengthy process. A few minutes each day can provide profound insights. And while we're discussing insights, let's not overlook the power of visualization, a technique used by Stoics and modern achievers alike. When doubt tells you that you can't, take a moment to visualize yourself succeeding. Picture the steps you'll take, the obstacles you'll overcome, and the success waiting on the other side. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's a rehearsal for reality, a way to condition your mind to act beyond doubt. Finally, remember that overcoming doubt is not about never feeling it. That's nearly impossible. It's about not letting it control you. It's about acknowledging its presence, nodding politely, and then moving forward with your actions aligned with your values and goals. Every time you choose action over doubt, you're not just moving closer to your goals, you're also strengthening your Stoic resolve, building a mindset geared toward growth and resilience. So, next time you hear that whisper of doubt, recognize it for what it is, an old habit, not a truth. Challenge it with your new habit of resilience, armed with Stoic wisdom, and watch as you transform not only your actions, but your outcomes. Doubt has only the power to stop you if you let it. Instead, let it be the reason you move forward with more determination, equipped with the wisdom of the Stoics to guide your path. It's incredibly easy to fall into the trap of looking at others and feeling like you're not measuring up. Scroll through any social media platform for a few minutes, and you might find yourself feeling as though everyone else's life is more exciting, more successful, or simply happier than yours. But here's something crucial to remember. What you're seeing is a curated display, not the full story. This comparison game is not just misleading, it's harmful. It skews our perception of our own lives and can make us feel inadequate without just cause. Stoicism teaches us a valuable lesson here. Focus on what affects your own progress and virtues, not the apparent successes of others. Imagine if Marcus Aurelius, Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, had wasted his time comparing his reign or philosophical writings to those of his predecessors or neighboring rulers. Instead, he focused on his own duties and the wisdom he could cultivate from his experiences. By centering on our own journey, we embrace the Stoic principle of controlling only what is within our power, our actions, reactions, and personal growth. When you catch yourself comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel, try to redirect that energy. Think about your own achievements and the obstacles you've overcome. Each person's life is a complex tapestry of experiences, challenges, and triumphs. By comparing, we reduce this rich complexity to a simple, often inaccurate scoreboard. More importantly, we risk overshadowing our own experiences and undervaluing our unique paths. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to use comparison, if at all, only as a tool for self-improvement, not as a measure of self-worth. For instance, instead of feeling envious of a friend's new job, use that moment to reflect on your own career goals and the steps you can take to achieve them. This turns a potentially negative comparison into a constructive plan for personal progress. It's about transforming envy into inspiration. Reflect on this. The only true comparison that brings value is the one you make with yourself, where you were yesterday versus where you are today. Are you kinder, more knowledgeable, or more disciplined? This self-reflection is fundamental in Stoicism. It keeps you grounded in your own progress and focused on what truly matters, your own development and contentment. Another practical step to lessen the habit of comparing yourself to others is to limit your exposure to the sources of comparison. If social media makes you feel inadequate, adjust how you use it. Follow accounts that inspire and teach rather than those that spark envy. Use these platforms to connect and learn rather than to assess your self-worth. Remember also the Stoic practice of negative visualization. It's about imagining the worst-case scenarios to appreciate what you have. This doesn't mean dwelling on the negative, but rather using it to cultivate gratitude for your present situation. It's a powerful antidote to the dissatisfaction bred by comparison. When you feel thankful for what you have, the achievements of others seem less like a threat and more like shared human potential. Breaking the habit of comparing yourself to others isn't about ignoring the success of those around you. It's about reshaping how you perceive and react to that information. It's about fostering a mindset that values personal growth and inner peace over external validation. This way, you not only adhere to Stoic wisdom, but also create a more fulfilling and contented life for yourself. Remember, in the grand narrative of your life, the only character you're truly responsible for is you. How you develop that character, how you enrich your own story, that's where your focus should be. Carrying the past around is like dragging a suitcase filled with old books you'll never read again. It's heavy, it's exhausting, and it doesn't serve you one bit. We've all got that suitcase. Inside, you'll find our mistakes, our regrets, and those moments when things just didn't go the way we hoped. Now, imagine setting that suitcase down for good. Feels freeing, right? That's what we're talking about today. Letting go of those past burdens to make room for a brighter, lighter future. Stoicism offers a robust framework for dealing with the past. Stoics emphasize living in the present because that's all we truly have control over. The past? It's done. You can't change it, but you can change your perspective on it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, Look back over the past with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future too. What he's suggesting isn't that we dwell on the past, but that we learn from it and then move on, applying those lessons to live better today. Reflecting on the past is only useful to the extent that it teaches us. Beyond that, dwelling on old failures or missed opportunities is a trap. It saps your energy, focusing your mind on scenarios that no longer exist, except in your thoughts. So how do we stop living in the past? Start by acknowledging it. Recognize the things that happened, understand the emotions they stir up, and then practice letting them go. This could be as simple as saying to yourself, yes, that happened, it hurt, but I am no longer in that moment. I am here now. Another Stoic practice that can help is the discipline of assent, which involves consciously choosing which thoughts to accept and which to reject. When a thought about the past arises, assess it. Is this thought helpful? Does it improve my well-being? If not, you have the power to reject it. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. Rather, it means not allowing them to control you. It's about taking a moment to say, this is how I felt, but I choose not to hold on to it. Furthermore, transform how you interact with memories. Instead of replaying a regretful scenario over and over, try to view it through a lens of growth. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? Whether it's resilience, compassion, or a newfound understanding of your limits, there's always something valuable to be gained. This shift in perspective turns a previously negative memory into a stepping stone for personal development. Lastly, engage in mindfulness and meditation, both key components of Stoic practice. These techniques ground you in the present and help dissolve the emotional weight of the past. Mindfulness teaches you to experience life as it happens and to appreciate the now without the shadow of yesterday. It's about noticing the world around you, your reactions, your feelings, and accepting them without judgment. To truly embrace the present and prepare for the future, it's essential to let go of what's behind you. Remember, every moment spent ruminating over the past is a moment lost from your present. So cut that baggage loose. Practice these Stoic principles to center yourself in the now, and you'll find that life becomes a lot lighter. The past doesn't have to define you. You're defined by how you live now, how you react now, and how you prepare for what's next. So, set down that old, heavy suitcase. Your journey ahead requires nothing from it. Have you ever found yourself saying, I'll start tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, you say it again? That loop, my friend, is one of life's trickiest ruts to escape. Procrastination isn't just about laziness or poor time management. It's about emotions battling against our intentions. It's the fear of failure, the dread of stepping out of comfort zones, or maybe even the fear of success that holds us back. But here's a thought inspired by Stoicism. What if we didn't wait for the perfect moment to act? What if we started embracing action as the path to clarity? The Stoics taught that it's not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about the events. With procrastination, it's often our judgments about the task at hand that hold us back, thinking it's too difficult, too time-consuming, or maybe not worth the effort at all. But what if we could shift that perspective? What if we viewed each action as a necessary step toward virtue, toward becoming our best selves? To tackle procrastination, begin by breaking down your goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. This is a classic Stoic approach to overcoming overwhelming feelings. Just as Marcus Aurelius advised, the task of a philosopher, to piece together our natural constitution. Apply this to your goals. Want to write a book? Start by writing a page. Need to organize your home? Start with one drawer. The key is to make the first step so small that it isn't intimidating, almost trivial. Then there's the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, which involves visualizing the negative outcomes of not acting. Imagine the consequences if you continue to procrastinate. How might it affect your personal growth, your career, or even your relationships? This visualization isn't meant to scare you, but to inject a dose of reality into your planning process. It's about using foresight to fuel your motivation rather than your fears. Furthermore, Stoicism doesn't just ask you to contemplate the bad. It also encourages you to reflect on the benefits of taking action. Each small step you take is progress, and progress is invigorating and self-reinforcing. Once you start and see the benefits of your actions, it becomes easier to keep going. Remember, in the words of Seneca, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. This approach transforms seemingly mundane tasks into vital parts of your daily life's philosophy. Moreover, consider the Stoic concept of the inner citadel, a fortress within us that remains impervious to externals and our emotional responses to them. When you feel overwhelmed by what you need to do, retreat into your inner citadel. From this place of strength, you can assess tasks with calmness and clarity, free from the paralyzing effects of overthinking and emotional turbulence. Finally, embrace the Stoic ethos of amor fati, love of fate. This doesn't mean being passive or resigning yourself to whatever happens. Rather, it's about loving what you do and doing what you love wholeheartedly. When you start to align your actions with your values, procrastination becomes less of an issue because you're no longer acting out of obligation, but out of genuine desire. So let's challenge ourselves to turn "I'll do it tomorrow" into "I'm doing it now." Because in each moment of action, you're not just ticking off a task, you're building a life. Each step, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming the person you aspire to be. It's about making the most of the now, because now is all we truly have, and now is always the right time to begin. And there we have it. 4 monumental shifts that can truly transform the way you lead your life. It's all about stepping away from those old habits that no longer serve you and embracing new ways that propel you toward a more fulfilling, more purposeful existence. Whether it's silencing the whispers of self-doubt, stopping the endless comparisons to others, releasing the heavy chains of the past, or kicking procrastination to the curb, each step you take is a powerful act of self-liberation. I want you to think of today's discussion not just as a set of instructions, but as a conversation among friends striving for betterment. We're in this together, each of us working on becoming the best versions of ourselves, one day at a time. Life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. This is one of the many wise quotes from ancient philosophy, which teaches us how to live a virtuous and happy life in a chaotic and uncertain world. But how can we apply this to our daily lives? One of the best ways to do that is to develop some nightly habits that will help us reflect on our actions, learn from our mistakes, and prepare for the next day. In this video, I will share with you 7 simple but powerful nightly habits that will make you more resilient, calm, and focused. But before we get into that, I challenge you to not be weak, but rather to be resilient and focused by staying with me till the end of the video. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Habit 1. Review your day. Every night, before you close your eyes, you have a golden opportunity to become a better version of yourself. You have the chance to look back at your day and see how you have lived, how you have acted, and how you have grown. This is not a time to judge yourself harshly or dwell on your failures. This is a time to learn from your experiences and celebrate your successes. This is a time to practice the first habit: review your day. This habit was taught by Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers who ever lived. He wrote, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, aware of this habit that's now mine, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." Seneca knew that by reviewing his day, he could evaluate his actions and thoughts and see how well he had followed the principles of wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. He could also cultivate gratitude for the things that went well, and forgiveness for himself and others for the things that went wrong. By doing this, he could improve his character, his happiness, and his impact on the world. And so can you. All you need to do is ask yourself some simple questions every night, like, what did I do well today? What did I do poorly today? What did I learn today? How can I improve tomorrow? These questions will help you identify your strengths and weaknesses, your achievements and mistakes, your lessons and opportunities. They will help you appreciate what you have and aspire for what you want. They will help you become more aware of yourself and more aligned with your values. They will help you become more resilient, calm, and focused. But don't just ask these questions. Write them down. Writing them down will make them more concrete, more memorable, and more actionable. Writing them down will also create a record of your progress, your challenges, and your growth. Habit 2. Meditate on your mortality. Every night, before you drift into sleep, you have a rare opportunity to awaken your soul and ignite your passion. You have the chance to face the ultimate reality of life, death. This habit may sound scary, but it is actually liberating. It is a habit that was embraced by the ancient Stoics, who were fearless and wise. They knew that death is inevitable and unpredictable, and that we should not fear it or avoid it, but rather face it with courage and dignity. They also knew that death can be a source of motivation and inspiration, as it reminds us that our time is limited and precious, and that we should not waste it on trivial things. One of the ways to meditate on your mortality is to use a technique called memento mori, which means remember that you will die. You can do this by imagining that this is your last night on Earth and asking yourself some powerful questions. How would I feel about my life if I knew I was going to die tomorrow? What would I regret not doing or saying? What would I be proud of or grateful for? These questions will help you put things into perspective, prioritize what matters most, and live each day as if it were your last. They will help you appreciate what you have and pursue what you want. They will help you express your love and fulfill your purpose. They will help you become more resilient, calm, and focused. But don't just ask these questions. Feel them. Feel them in your heart, in your gut, in your bones. Feel them as if they were true, as if this was really your last night on Earth. Feel the emotions that arise, the sadness, the joy, the fear, the gratitude. By feeling these emotions every night, you will create a powerful habit that will transform your life. Meditate on your mortality and make every day count. Habit 3. Detach from external things. This means that you should not let your joy or sorrow depend on things that are beyond your power, such as wealth, fame, honor, or other people's judgments. The Stoics knew that the only thing we can master is our own mind and will, and that everything else is subject to fate and fortune. They also knew that external things are not good or evil in themselves, but only in relation to how we view them and respond to them. One of the ways to rise above the world is to use a technique called negative visualization, which means envisioning the worst-case scenario. You can do this by imagining that you have lost or never had some of the things you value or desire, and then asking yourself, how would I endure if this happened? How would I find joy without this? How would I grow from this? By doing this habit, you will be able to weaken your attachment and fear, increase your appreciation and satisfaction, and ready yourself for any possible outcome. So do not be enslaved by the world. Be free from it. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. If you have made it to this point in the video, you are truly strong, and I know you will make it till the end. Habit 4. Focus on your purpose. This is not a vague or trivial matter, but a vital and noble one. You have a destiny to fulfill, a mission to accomplish, and a legacy to leave behind. You have a spark of divinity within you, and you must fan it into a flame that illuminates the world. The Stoics understood that we are not here by chance, but by providence. We are part of a cosmic order, and we have a duty to uphold it. We are not mere spectators, but active participants. We are not isolated individuals, but interconnected beings. We are not passive consumers, but creative contributors. To focus on your purpose, you must practice prososche, or attention. This is the art of being mindful and aware of your thoughts, words, and deeds. You must constantly ask yourself questions like, what is my purpose in life? What is the most excellent way to pursue it? What is the most urgent thing to do right now? By doing this habit, you will sharpen your vision, align your actions, and prioritize your tasks. You will not waste time on distractions, but invest it in essentials. You will not drift aimlessly, but move purposefully. Habit 5, practice self-discipline. What if I told you that you have the power to shape your destiny, overcome any obstacle, and achieve any goal? This is the truth that the ancient Stoics knew and practiced. They knew that the key to living a good life is to practice self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses and emotions and to act according to reason and virtue. It's the ability to choose what is right over what is easy, what is noble over what is base, and what is lasting over what is fleeting. It's the ability to avoid excesses and vices and to cultivate moderation and virtues. It's the ability to challenge yourself to do something difficult or uncomfortable every day, such as waking up early, exercising, eating healthy, or helping others. By doing this, you will be able to strengthen your willpower, overcome your weaknesses, and improve your skills. You will be able to face any situation with courage, wisdom, and calmness. This habit has the power to transform your life, turning you into a master of yourself and your own story. Make it your nightly habit. Make it your way of life. Habit 6, relax and sleep well. You've made it to the last habit, and it's a simple one. But don't let its simplicity fool you. This habit is crucial for your well-being, and it can make or break your success. The Stoics knew that relaxation and sleep are not luxuries but necessities. They are not distractions but investments. They are not indulgences but rewards. They understood that relaxation and sleep are the best ways to recharge your batteries, restore your balance, and renew your strength. They also knew how to relax and sleep well using a powerful technique called ataraxia, which means tranquility. You can practice ataraxia by breathing deeply and slowly, letting go of any tension or stress, stretching your body and releasing any stiffness or pain, meditating on your purpose or your values, praying to your higher power or your inner wisdom. By doing this habit, you will be able to relax your mind, relax your body, and sleep like a baby. And when you wake up, you will be ready to face the day with confidence, courage, and clarity. Every single day, we're faced with moments that test our patience and rattle our calm. Whether it's a traffic jam when you're already late, a coworker's irritating habits, or your phone battery dying in the middle of an important call, life seems full of these little battles. It's not just about these minor irritations, though. It's about how we respond to them that shapes our days and, ultimately, our lives. It's important to remember that everyone feels angry sometimes. It's part of being human. But here's where Stoicism steps in with its profound wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This is pivotal in transforming our relationship with anger. Think about it. When something goes wrong or someone frustrates us, our first instinct might be to react with anger. But what if, instead, we paused and considered this reaction? Stoicism encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, understanding, and resilience. By acknowledging anger as a natural emotion, we set the stage for learning how to handle it more effectively. The Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius often discuss the concept of not being swayed by external events, but instead focusing on our internal responses. They believe that our emotions, including anger, come from our judgments about events, not the events themselves. So, when we feel angry, it's often because we're placing a particular value or judgment on what's happened. This understanding opens up a powerful opportunity for us. Each time we feel anger rising, we can ask ourselves, what judgment am I making about this situation? Is there another way to view it? This is not about suppressing or denying your anger. It's about understanding it. By getting to the root of what triggers our anger, we can start to change our responses. For instance, if you get cut off in traffic and feel the anger bubbling up, recognize this as a chance to examine why you react this way. Is it really the action of the other driver, or is it your belief that your route should be obstacle-free? Moreover, acknowledging anger helps us empathize with others who might also struggle with their emotions. This empathy can deepen our connections and improve our interactions. It's about compassion, both for ourselves and for others, as we navigate the complexities of human emotions. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and is incredibly liberating once you truly grasp it. Think about it. So much of our frustration and anger stems from situations or people we simply can't change, no matter how much we might want to. The Stoics, like the wise Marcus Aurelius, taught that the real power lies in recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't. You control your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. That's it. Everything else is more or less out of your hands. Other people's actions, the weather, the past, and much of the future. But here's where it gets interesting. By focusing on our own reactions and attitudes, we reclaim a tremendous amount of power. Instead of wasting energy on the uncontrollable, we invest it in what we can actually influence. Let's make it practical. Say you're working on a group project and someone isn't pulling their weight. It's easy to get frustrated, right? You might even feel your temper rising, but ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually control? You can't make your teammate work harder, but you can control how you respond to the challenge. Maybe it's a conversation about expectations, or perhaps it's reallocating work within the group. By shifting your focus like this, you not only reduce your own stress, but also open up more constructive ways to address the problem. Another aspect of this Stoic principle is accepting that some things are just beyond our control. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding where our power truly lies. It's about not letting external events dictate your peace of mind. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic and getting irritated because you're going to be late, pause and think, can I control the traffic? No. But what can you control? Your reaction. Maybe you turn on an audiobook or some calming music, or use the time to think through your day. The beauty of focusing on what you can control is that it gradually builds a stronger, more resilient mindset. Over time, you'll find yourself less shaken by life's ups and downs because you know where your responsibilities lie and where they don't. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling your energies more productively. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. This aligns beautifully with Stoic teachings, which emphasize awareness of our thoughts and actions and maintaining control over our reactions to external circumstances. So why practice mindfulness? Because it helps us to pause between our experiences and our reactions to them. By becoming more mindful, we can choose responses that align with our values and goals instead of getting swept away by emotions. For example, when someone says something that upsets you, instead of immediately reacting or snapping back, Mindfulness allows you to take a step back. You notice your emotional surge, but choose to observe it passively, without acting on it immediately. This space that mindfulness creates is not just calming, it's empowering. It gives you the chance to choose a response that you won't regret later. Let's talk about how to incorporate mindfulness into daily life, because it sounds great in theory, but it's in the practice that the real magic happens. One simple technique is to focus on your breathing. When you find yourself feeling anxious or angry, take a moment to concentrate on deep, slow breaths. This focus pulls your mind away from the triggers of stress or anger and brings you back to what you can control: your breath. Another practical method is what I like to call mindful observation. Choose an ordinary task or moment, like drinking a cup of coffee. Focus all your senses on this experience. Notice the aroma, the heat of the cup in your hands, the taste. This practice of engaging fully with the present moment can transform an ordinary experience into a richer, more textured moment. What's fascinating about this is that it trains your brain to apply the same level of awareness to more challenging situations. When anger or frustration arises, you'll be better equipped to handle it with the same focus and calm. Stoicism also teaches us about the impermanence of our experiences. Nothing lasts forever, not even our emotions. Mindfulness complements this by helping us to experience our feelings without judgment. Acknowledge that you're angry, recognize it, but also remind yourself that this anger is just a passing state. It's not who you are, and it doesn't control you, unless you let it. The idea that everything changes and nothing lasts forever is a universal truth that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and less frustration. It's about understanding that our circumstances, emotions, and even our thoughts are constantly in flux, and learning to embrace this constant state of change rather than resisting it. Think about how often we get upset because things didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a job promotion that didn't come through, a relationship that ended unexpectedly, or a sudden change in our health. Our first reaction might be to resist these changes, to get angry or sad. But Stoicism invites us to look at these situations differently, through the lens of impermanence. When we truly grasp that nothing is permanent, we start to realize that our anger or disappointment is also temporary. This doesn't diminish the importance of our feelings, but gives us a more balanced perspective on them. Embracing impermanence allows us to live more in the present and worry less about the past and the future. If you know that everything is temporary, you begin to appreciate your experiences and the people around you more deeply. You don't take things for granted because you're aware that circumstances can change at any moment. This awareness can be incredibly freeing. It reduces the sting of negative events and enhances the joy of positive ones. Now, how do we practice accepting impermanence in daily life? Start by reflecting on the transient nature of your surroundings and experiences. For example, watch how the seasons change. Observe how your feelings shift throughout the day, or how your relationships evolve over time. These observations can be reminders that change is the only constant. Another way to integrate this into your life is by adjusting how you respond to disruptions or unexpected changes. Instead of reacting with frustration when something doesn't go your way, take a moment to acknowledge that this change is part of a bigger flow of life. It's an opportunity to adapt and grow. Think about a time when something didn't work out as you had hoped, and then something better came along. Often, it's only in hindsight that we see how these changes were beneficial. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to accept impermanence, it encourages us to find strength in it. Each change and ending is a chance to practice resilience and flexibility. By fostering this mindset, we not only cope with life's challenges more effectively, but also learn to move through them with a sense of peace and anticipation for what's next. The Stoics believe that becoming aware of the root causes of our emotions could lead to greater self-mastery. When we understand our emotions, we are better equipped to respond to life's challenges in ways that are aligned with our values and goals, rather than simply reacting out of habit or impulse. Every emotion we experience, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, or fear, is triggered by our perception. For example, if you feel angry when someone interrupts you while speaking, it's worth exploring why. Is it because you feel disrespected? Or perhaps it reflects a deeper insecurity about your voice being heard. By digging into these questions, you can begin to understand not just your reactions, but also the beliefs and values that underlie them. This understanding is crucial because it gives you the opportunity to change your perceptions and consequently the way you feel. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions are predicated on our judgments. The good news is that judgments can be examined and changed. So when you feel a strong emotion, try to step back and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief true? Is it helpful? This kind of questioning can be very powerful. It allows you to shift your perspective and choose a different emotional response, one that serves you better. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about a work presentation, it might be because you believe that you must perform perfectly in order to be respected. But is this really true? Likely, your colleagues value your effort and sincerity more than perfection. Recognizing this can alleviate some of your anxiety and help you approach the situation with more calmness and confidence. Practically speaking, journaling can be an incredibly effective tool for understanding your emotions. By writing down what you feel and exploring why you feel it, you can uncover patterns and triggers that you might not be aware of otherwise. This reflection not only helps in the moment, but also builds a sort of emotional intelligence over time that can make you more resilient and adaptable. Another approach is to discuss your feelings with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Speaking about your emotions can provide new insights and perspectives that you might not have considered. It's often through dialogue that we come to new understandings about ourselves and our relationships. Embracing the Stoic approach to emotions isn't about suppressing what you feel. On the contrary, it's about engaging with your emotions in a proactive and reflective way. It's about taking control of the narrative of your inner life. By understanding your emotions, you're not just reacting to the world, you're actively shaping your experience of it. Stoicism teaches us the value of patience, not just as a way to endure, but as a method to transform our experiences. Patience, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't just about waiting, it's about how we behave while we wait. It's about maintaining our composure and dignity in the face of life's delays and challenges, understanding that these are often outside our control. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that can trigger impatience, from a slow-moving line at the grocery store to a traffic jam or a delayed response from a colleague. Our first instinct might be to feel irritated or stressed, but here's where Stoicism comes into play. It encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtue. Every instance of delay is a chance to exercise patience, to reinforce our ability to stay calm and collected. So, how can we develop patience in practical terms? One effective approach is to adjust our expectations. Often, our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we start by acknowledging that delays and obstacles are natural parts of life, we're less likely to get upset when they occur. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but rather aligning our expectations with the fact that the world won't always operate according to our preferences. Another key method is to use the moments of waiting as opportunities for growth and reflection. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming over the delay, you can turn it into valuable time, listening to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply reflect on your day. This shift in perspective turns a frustrating situation into a productive or relaxing one. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful ally in developing patience. By being present in the moment and fully engaging with it, we can distance ourselves from the feelings of urgency and restlessness that often accompany waiting. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a peaceful state of mind that buffers us against the stirrings of impatience. Stoicism not only advocates for patience, but also for understanding the impermanence of our current state. Remembering that this too shall pass can help us endure unpleasant situations, whether it's waiting for a delayed flight or enduring a long recovery from an illness. The knowledge that it is temporary makes it more bearable. Finally, celebrating small victories is crucial in developing patience. When you manage to stay calm during a situation that would normally make you impatient, acknowledge and reward yourself for this achievement. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely to become a habit. This is one of those transformative experiences that not only changes the way we relate to others, but also profoundly affects our inner peace. Forgiveness in the Stoic sense is not about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting the harm done. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes from carrying grudges. Forgiveness requires a strong sense of self-awareness and control over one's emotions, qualities that Stoics strive to develop. It involves recognizing that our anger and hurt, while natural and valid responses to perceived injustices, are ultimately within our control. This doesn't mean that the process is simple or immediate. Forgiveness can be challenging. It often requires a deliberate, concerted effort to let go of deep-seated feelings of injustice. Consider the power that comes from deciding not to allow someone else's actions to disturb your inner tranquility. This is the essence of Stoic forgiveness. It's about making a conscious choice to not let past actions continually affect your present state of mind. This decision helps you reclaim your emotional energy and focus it on more constructive pursuits that align with your values and goals. Now, how do we start practicing forgiveness in everyday life? It begins with the recognition that all humans are fallible, ourselves included. We all make mistakes, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes out of malice. Reflecting on our own shortcomings can help us develop empathy towards others, making it easier to forgive. Another Stoic practice is to consider the bigger picture. Often, the things we hold on to are not as significant in the grand scheme of our lives. By focusing on our long-term well-being, which is bolstered by peace and harmony, the immediate sting of grievances can be mitigated. Practicing forgiveness also involves actively reframing our narratives. Instead of viewing yourself as a victim, which can perpetuate feelings of anger and helplessness, try to see yourself as a survivor, or even a hero of your story, one who has overcome challenges and emerged stronger. This shift in perspective not only facilitates forgiveness, but also empowers you in your life's journey. Moreover, engaging in meditation or mindfulness exercises can assist in the process. These practices help calm the mind and provide the space needed to process emotions more rationally and less reactively. As you sit quietly and focus on your breath, allow thoughts of forgiveness to enter your mind. Picture those you feel have wronged you and imagine sending them thoughts of goodwill. This doesn't mean you accept the wrong, but you are choosing to release its hold over you. Finally, it's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, sometimes a lengthy one. It doesn't happen all at once, and that's perfectly okay. Each step towards forgiveness, no matter how small, is a step towards a freer, more emotionally balanced life. At its essence, self-grace allows us to pause before reacting, giving us the time to consider whether our impulses align with our long-term goals. For instance, if you're trying to lead a healthier lifestyle, self-grace is what helps you choose not to eat that late-night junk food, In emotional situations, self-retrobe helps you hold back a harsh word or an angry reply, preserving relationships and maintaining peace of mind. How can we strengthen this essential skill? One effective Stoic practice is to regularly reflect on our actions and their consequences. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each evening to think about the choices you made throughout the day. Were there moments when you lacked self-control? What triggered it? Understanding these patterns is the first step towards managing them. Another powerful technique is to set clear personal rules for behavior based on your values. Stoicism teaches us that living according to rational principles is key to a good life. By setting and following your own rules, for example, not checking your phone during meals or limiting time spent on social media, you exercise self-control in ways that directly improve your daily life and well-being. Visualization is another tool that can be incredibly helpful. Before entering a situation where you know you might be tempted to act impulsively, take a moment to visualize yourself handling the situation with calm and restraint. Imagine the satisfaction you'll feel from acting in accordance with your principles. This mental rehearsal can make it much easier to keep your cool in the heat of the moment. It's also beneficial to gradually increase your tolerance for discomfort, which is a big part of what self-control is all about. The Stoics believe that by voluntarily exposing ourselves to discomfort, whether it's cold showers, fasting, or resisting urges, we can strengthen our willpower. These practices teach us that we can endure discomfort and that it's often not as bad as we fear. This realization directly feeds into our ability to exercise self-retreat in more complex emotional or social situations. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. In a world that constantly tries to dictate how we should feel, think, and act, imagine possessing the power to find inner peace and happiness regardless of the circumstances swirling around you. That's not just powerful, it's revolutionary. It's about taking control, not of the world, but of something far more important and absolutely within our reach, our own minds. Stoicism teaches us resilience, gratitude, and the art of living a fulfilled life. But this isn't just a history lesson. It's about you, your life today. It's about facing the chaos of our modern world without losing your cool. It's about finding calm in the storm and happiness in the simplest of things. It's about transforming your mornings from something you dread into a powerful launchpad for a day filled with purpose and joy. So, if you've ever felt overwhelmed by the noise of life, if you've ever struggled to find a moment's peace, or if you're just curious about how ancient wisdom can be your secret weapon in the 21st century, stick around. This might just be the video that changes everything for you. Let's dive into the Stoic strategies that can help us craft not just a morning routine, but a life filled with intention, resilience, and true happiness. I implore you to give your full attention to this video from start to finish. If you've made it here, you're not like everyone else. You're a standout, someone who seeks depth and wisdom. Your dedication to absorbing this content in full sets you apart even further. This might sound like a fancy term, but it's actually a beautifully simple concept that comes from Japan. It's about discovering that sweet spot where your passions, skills, societal needs, and what you can be paid for all intersect. It's your unique reason for being. Imagine waking up each morning fueled by a clear purpose that excites you, something that makes the thought of hitting snooze irrelevant. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just about enduring life's hardships with a stiff upper lip. He was deeply invested in the idea that we're all here to play our part, to contribute something meaningful. He urged us to approach each day as an opportunity to fulfill our role with integrity and passion. Now, think about that in the context of Ikigai. It's not just about finding what you love. It's about aligning it with what the world needs and what you're good at. That's where the magic happens. But how do you start uncovering your Ikigai? It begins with some introspection. Ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What am I good at? What does the world need from me? What can I get paid for? It's okay if the answers don't come to you right away. This is about the journey, exploring different facets of your life and interests and seeing where they converge. This quest for your ikigai isn't just some fluffy, feel-good exercise. It's about setting the foundation for a life that's rich in meaning and satisfaction. When you align your daily actions with your deeper purpose, even mundane tasks gain significance. Your relationships start to flourish because you're more present and engaged. Your creativity soars because you're aligned with your true passions. And overall happiness, well, it becomes more of a constant companion than a fleeting visitor. So, as you think about setting your alarm for tomorrow morning, consider what ikigai means for you. What could be so compelling that you'd leap out of bed, eager to start the day? Remember, this isn't about overnight transformation. It's a process, a gentle unfolding. And as Marcus Aurelius would remind us, it's about doing the work, day by day, with dedication and honor. Finding your ikigai isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's about embracing your role in the larger tapestry of life, contributing your unique thread to the ever-evolving human story. The ancient Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, were big on the idea that our actions should be purposeful, not just random acts thrown into the wind, but deliberate steps guided by our inner compass. This philosophy extends beautifully into how we prepare for the day ahead, starting the night before. Here's the deal. The quality of your morning begins with how you spend your evening. It's tempting to binge watch your favorite series until the wee hours or scroll through social media until your eyes blur. But let's pause and consider how that sets you up for the next day. Your brain needs time to unwind, to process the day's events, and to recharge for what's ahead. That's where a solid pre-sleep routine comes into play. Imagine treating your evening routine with the same respect and intention as you would any other important aspect of your life. This isn't about rigid self-discipline that sucks the joy out of your evenings. It's about creating a space that supports your well-being and aligns with your goals for the next day. For instance, limiting screen time an hour before bed isn't about denying yourself relaxation. It's about giving your mind the cue that it's time to wind down, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up feeling refreshed. Planning a bit for the next day can also be a game changer. It could be as simple as jotting down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. This act alone sets a clear direction, ensuring you wake up with a sense of purpose. And here's where the Stoic mindset really shines. It's about acknowledging what's within our control and letting go of what's not. We might not be able to control every detail of our day, but we can certainly influence how we start it. And let's not forget about some deep breathing or meditation to calm the mind. This practice isn't just fluff. It's a powerful tool that signals to your body that it's time to rest. Inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly helps reduce stress, lower your heart rate, and prepare your body for deep, restorative sleep. It's like pressing the reset button, ensuring you wake up not just physically refreshed, but mentally and emotionally as well. In today's always-on world, this might sound like a Herculean task, but it's absolutely vital for setting the tone of your entire day. Picture this. The first moments of your morning, untainted by the digital clamor of emails, social media notifications, or the buzzing news cycle. It's just you, your thoughts, and the serene quiet of the dawn. That's not just refreshing, it's empowering. Marcus Aurelius was a strong advocate for living with intention and focus. He wasn't distracted by the notifications of ancient Rome, and believe me, he had his share of distractions. Instead, he emphasized the importance of concentrating on the present moment and the task at hand. He knew something that's even more relevant today. The quality of your attention determines the quality of your life. So, how do we apply this ancient wisdom in the modern age? First, it's about creating a morning space that's intentionally free from digital distractions. This isn't about shunning technology, but rather choosing not to let it dictate the start of your day. It's tempting to roll over and immediately check your phone, but that instantly puts you in a reactive state, responding to the demands and dramas of the external world. Instead, give yourself the gift of a peaceful start. Imagine dedicating the first hour of your day to activities that nourish your soul and sharpen your mind. Maybe it's reading, meditating, journaling, or simply enjoying a cup of coffee as you gaze out the window. This isn't wasted time, it's an investment in your well-being. By avoiding distractions, you're not just avoiding stress, you're actively creating a reservoir of peace and focus that you'll draw from throughout the day. Making the most of your mornings isn't about adding more to your to-do list. It's about subtracting the noise that doesn't serve you. It's about prioritizing what truly matters before the day's demands start pulling at your attention. This is where the Stoic practice of focusing on what's within your control comes into play. You might not be able to control the flood of emails waiting for you, but you can control how and when you choose to engage with them. So tomorrow, challenge yourself to start the day on your terms. Resist the urge to dive into the digital world first thing. Instead, anchor yourself in the present moment, savoring the peace and potential that the morning holds. Remember, every day is a new opportunity to live more intentionally, more serenely, and more in line with who you aspire to be. Let's make our mornings a testament to that ambition, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and an unwavering focus on what truly matters. Stoicism, at its core, is about understanding what is within our control and acting with virtue and intention in those areas. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, these guys weren't just talking about enduring life's hardships with a stiff upper lip. They were advocating for a proactive engagement with life, taking charge of our actions and our mindset. Waking up consistently is a practice that embodies this philosophy. It's a declaration that we are in control of how we start our day, that we are not at the mercy of whims or external pressures. Building a life, as Stoicism suggests, step by step, with contentment in each action, is a powerful concept. It reminds us that big changes start with small, consistent actions. Waking up at the same time each morning might seem like a small thing, but it's a cornerstone habit that sets the stage for everything else. It's about creating a stable foundation for your day, where you're not rushing from the moment you open your eyes, but rather starting with a sense of control and purpose. But here's the thing, consistency is challenging. It's supposed to be. The early days of trying to wake up at the same time each morning can feel like an uphill battle. Your bed feels more comfortable than ever, and the temptation to hit snooze just one more time can feel irresistible. This is where the Stoic practice of perseverance comes in. It's about reminding yourself why you're doing this, about the person you're becoming through this discipline. It's about seeing beyond the immediate comfort and focusing on the long-term benefits this habit will bring into your life. Becoming a morning person, then, is not just about the mornings themselves. It's about embodying the qualities that make you resilient, focused, and intentional throughout your day. It's a practice in self-mastery, in aligning your actions with your values, and in cultivating the kind of life you want to live, one morning at a time. So how do we make consistency our ally? Start by setting a clear intention the night before. Remind yourself why waking up at a specific time is important to you. Is it to have more quiet time in the morning for reading or meditation? Is it to exercise, or simply to start your day in a more relaxed and controlled manner? Then create an environment that supports this habit. Maybe it's going to bed a bit earlier to ensure you get enough sleep, or keeping your curtains slightly open to let the natural light wake you up gently. And when it gets tough, remember the Stoic belief in the power of our own will and the importance of acting according to our principles. Each morning that you wake up at your chosen time, you're not just starting your day, you're reinforcing a commitment to yourself, to your growth, and to living a life of intention and purpose. Amidst all this talk of discipline, consistency, and waking up with the sun, it's paramount to remember one thing: we're human. And being human means we're beautifully complex creatures with brains that often prefer the path of least resistance, the instant gratification route. This is precisely why embarking on new habits like transforming our mornings can initially feel like an uphill battle. Yet, there's something incredibly freeing in acknowledging this fact. It's not a flaw, it's just part of the human experience. Now, let's channel some Stoicism into this concept. Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-compassion and understanding alongside its calls for discipline and resilience. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, often reminded himself to be patient and forgiving with his own shortcomings. He knew that berating oneself for every slip-up was not the path to growth. Instead, he advocated for recognizing our errors, learning from them, and then letting them go. This approach is crucial when we're trying to cultivate new morning routines, or any habit, for that matter. Those first few days, or even weeks, can be tough. Your alarm goes off and every fiber of your being wants to stay cocooned in the warmth of your bed. And let's be honest, there will be days when you'll give in to that desire. That's okay. The key is what you do next. Do you beat yourself up, spiraling into a cycle of guilt and self-criticism? Or do you take a breath, forgive yourself, and see the next morning as a fresh opportunity to try again? Forgiveness and patience with ourselves are not signs of weakness. They're indicators of strength and wisdom. They mean we're in it for the long haul, ready to navigate the ups and downs with grace. This Stoic practice of self-compassion is about understanding our nature, working with it, and gently nudging ourselves toward the habits and life we aspire to. Moreover, taking it easy isn't about making excuses or allowing ourselves to perpetually fall short of our goals. It's about recognizing that growth is a process filled with learning curves and setbacks. It's about understanding that each new day brings with it a new set of challenges and opportunities. And it's in this daily renewal that we find our strength and resilience. So, as you work on embracing those early mornings, or any new habit, remember to take it easy on yourself. Celebrate the small victories, learn from the setbacks, and approach each day with a heart ready to try again. This isn't just about becoming a morning person. It's about cultivating a mindset that's prepared to face life's challenges with a blend of determination and kindness. Consider the simple act of placing your alarm clock across the room. It's not just about making it physically harder to snooze. It's a statement. It's a commitment to start the day on your terms, to rise despite the comfort of the bed's embrace. It's a small act of defense against the inertia of sleep and comfort, a step toward embracing the day with intention. Similarly, making your bed each morning might feel like a trivial task, especially when you're the only one who'll see it. Yet it's so much more than smoothing sheets and fluffing pillows. It's an exercise in care, in telling yourself that your environment and how you engage with it matters. It's about creating a space that reflects the order and respect you're cultivating within yourself. These small victories, as Marcus Aurelius would likely argue, are the building blocks of a disciplined life. They're the everyday choices that, while easy to overlook, cumulatively mold our character. Each time you choose to do these little things, you're casting a vote for the type of person you want to be. You're choosing to be someone who values discipline, order, and respect for oneself and one's environment. But why focus on these small acts? Because they're within everyone's reach. Not all of us can control the major events in our lives, the upheavals, the unexpected turns, but we can control how we respond to the start of each day, how we treat our immediate surroundings, and how we prime ourselves for whatever lies ahead. This is Stoicism in action, focusing on what's in our power to control and letting go of what isn't. Moreover, these practices aren't just about building discipline for discipline's sake. They're about cultivating a mindset that's prepared for life's bigger challenges. If you can commit to these small acts of discipline, you're training yourself to uphold your commitments in more significant areas. You're sharpening your ability to follow through, to remain steady in the face of adversity, and to approach life with a calm, collected demeanor, qualities that define the Stoic ideal. So, as you consider the role of discipline in your life, start small. Look for those everyday opportunities to practice self-control and order. Remember, it's in these moments, in the quiet of the morning, when you decide to rise and face the day with intention, that your character is forged. These practices are not just chores or tasks. They're rituals, imbuing your day with purpose and your life with a sense of direction and meaning. The idea here is simple yet profoundly impactful. Sharing your goals with someone who not only supports you, but also holds you accountable can significantly amplify your chances of success. It transforms a personal journey into a shared adventure, making the path to fulfilling your morning routine and ultimately your life's purpose less daunting and more enjoyable. Think of your accountability partner as your ally in the pursuit of self-improvement. This person is there to remind you of your commitments when the warmth of your bed feels too comforting to leave in the early hours. They're there to encourage you when progress seems slow and to celebrate your victories no matter how small. This relationship is a two-way street. It's about mutual support and encouragement, grounded in the understanding that we're all striving to be the best versions of ourselves. The Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, often emphasize the importance of community and relationships in the development of character and virtue. They believed in the power of wisdom shared, in learning from one another, and in the strength that comes from knowing you're not alone in your struggles. Finding an accountability partner in today's world is a nod to this timeless wisdom, recognizing that while the journey towards self-discipline and purpose is personal, it need not be solitary. Moreover, an accountability partner can help you see blind spots in your routine or approach that you might miss on your own. They can offer new perspectives and insights that can catalyze your growth in unexpected ways. This partnership is about more than just checking in to see if you woke up on time or followed through on your morning meditation. It's about engaging in meaningful dialogue about what's working, what isn't, and how you can both support each other in making adjustments. So, how do you find this accountability partner? Look for someone who shares your commitment to growth and self-improvement. This could be a friend, a family member, or even a colleague. The key is to choose someone you trust. Someone with whom you can be open and honest about your goals, struggles, and successes. Once you've found that person, be clear about what you're hoping to achieve and what kind of support you need. Set regular check-ins and be there for each other, offering encouragement, advice, and, when necessary, a gentle nudge back on track. Remember, finding an accountability partner is about more than just external motivation. It's about building a relationship that inspires and uplifts both of you. It's about creating a shared space where honesty, vulnerability, and mutual support are valued and nurtured. In this space, your morning routines and broader life goals become intertwined in a collective effort toward living a more intentional, disciplined, and fulfilling life. The Stoic practice of reflecting on mortality is a call to action, a prompt to live our lives with purpose and intention. It encourages us not to squander our time on trivialities, but to concentrate on creating a meaningful legacy. Every morning when we wake up, we're presented with a fresh opportunity to engage with life in a meaningful way, to contribute positively to the world around us, and to pursue personal growth and fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often wrote about the fleeting nature of life, emphasizing the importance of living virtuously and making the most of the time we have. This wasn't meant to be somber. Rather, it was a liberating realization that freed him from petty concerns and allowed him to focus on his duties as emperor and as a human being striving for virtue. The idea is that by keeping the end in mind, we're more likely to live our lives with purpose and clarity, prioritizing the things and relationships that truly matter. Remembering death in the context of our morning routines transforms how we approach each day. It's not just another day, it's a day that we've been gifted, one that's not guaranteed to anyone. This realization can profoundly impact how we choose to spend our time, the activities we engage in, the relationships we nurture, and the legacy we strive to build. It's a reminder to live fully, to love deeply, and to leave the world a little better than we found it. Moreover, this Stoic practice helps us maintain perspective in the face of life's inevitable challenges and setbacks. When we remember that our time is limited, the daily annoyances and obstacles lose much of their power over us. We become more resilient, more focused on our long-term goals, and less likely to be derailed by temporary difficulties. It's a practice that fosters gratitude for the present moment and inspires us to make the most of it. So, how can we incorporate this Stoic principle into our daily lives? It begins with a moment of reflection each morning. Consider the day ahead as a blank canvas, an opportunity to contribute positively to your life story and to those around you. Ask yourself, if this were my last day, would I be proud of how I'm choosing to spend it? This doesn't mean living in a constant state of existential crisis, but rather cultivating a deep appreciation for the now, for the opportunity to live, learn, and love. In embracing the Stoic practice of remembering death, we're not focusing on the end, but on the present and how we choose to live each day. It's a powerful antidote to complacency and a reminder to live our lives with intention, purpose, and gratitude. So let's greet each morning with the awareness that it is a gift, an opportunity to craft a life that's rich in meaning and aligned with our deepest values. This is the essence of living stoically, making the most of our finite time in this world to create a legacy that endures. We're often told to focus on the positive, to visualize success and happiness in order to attract them into our lives. However, the Stoics, in their profound wisdom, offer a different perspective, one that's not only practical but incredibly empowering. Negative visualization isn't about pessimism. Rather, it's a tool for resilience, preparation, and ultimately, greater appreciation of the present. The essence of this practice is to periodically imagine the challenges, losses, or difficulties you might face in life. This could range from minor inconveniences, like a missed bus or a rainy day, to more significant hardships, such as the loss of a job or a loved one. The purpose isn't to dwell on these scenarios in a way that breeds fear or anxiety, but to mentally rehearse how you would cope with such situations should they arise. This process of visualization prepares you emotionally and mentally, making you less susceptible to being thrown off course by life's inevitable ups and downs. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all believed that by contemplating the temporary nature of everything outside our control, we could cultivate a deeper sense of peace and resilience. This practice encourages us to focus on what we can control, our responses, our attitudes, and our actions. Incorporating negative visualization into your morning routine can transform how you approach your day. Instead of stepping out the door, blind to the potential challenges ahead, you're mentally equipped to face them. It's like a mental training session where you strengthen your resilience muscles, so when life inevitably throws a curveball your way, you're not knocked off your feet. You've already rehearsed this moment in your mind and can draw upon your pre-visualized strategies to navigate through it. Moreover, this practice has a beautiful, somewhat paradoxical effect. It enhances our gratitude for the present moment. By imagining life without some of the things we take for granted, we come back to reality with a renewed appreciation for them. It's a reminder of how much we have to be thankful for right now, in this moment. This isn't about dwelling in fear of loss, but about using the thought of it to deepen our appreciation for the here and now. So how do we practice negative visualization in a healthy, constructive way? Start with a few moments in the morning to contemplate potential challenges of the day, or broader future possibilities. Visualize how you would ideally respond, what strengths you would draw upon, what lessons you could learn, and how you could grow from the experience. Then, let go of the visualization and proceed with your day, carrying with you a sense of preparedness and an enhanced appreciation for your current circumstances. Incorporating gratitude into our lives, especially as we end our day, can have a transformative impact on our well-being and outlook. Keeping a gratitude journal is a beautifully simple yet profoundly effective way to cultivate this sense of appreciation. It's about taking a few moments before we sleep to reflect on the day and jot down a few things we're grateful for. This could be anything, from a kind gesture from a stranger, a beautiful sunset, the completion of a challenging task, or simply the comfort of our bed waiting to embrace us at the end of a long day. The act of writing down what we're grateful for shifts our focus from what's lacking in our lives to the abundance that's already present. It's a practice that aligns perfectly with Stoic teachings, which emphasize focusing on what we have rather than what we don't, on what's within our control rather than what isn't. This shift in perspective not only sets the stage for a peaceful night's sleep free from the turmoil of unfulfilled desires or lingering frustrations, but it also primes our minds to begin the next day with a sense of purpose and appreciation. But why end the day with gratitude? Because it allows us to close our day on a note of positivity, regardless of the challenges we may have faced. It's a way of reaffirming the good in our lives, of finding peace even in turmoil, and of nurturing a mindset that sees opportunities for growth and joy in every circumstance. This nightly practice of gratitude creates a ripple effect, influencing not just how we sleep, but how we wake up and approach our mornings. It transforms our first thoughts of the day from groans over the alarm clock to a quiet anticipation of what the new day holds, what new things we might discover to be grateful for. Moreover, this practice of appreciating our life extends beyond our personal sphere. It enhances our relationships as we become more attuned to the value of those around us and more expressive of our appreciation for their presence in our lives. It deepens our connection to the world as we become more observant of and thankful for the beauty and wonder that surround us, often in the most mundane moments. So, as we consider the multitude of strategies to enrich our mornings and, by extension, our lives, let's not overlook the power of ending our day with gratitude. It's a practice that embodies the Stoic pursuit of a good life, one marked not by external achievements or material possessions, but by inner peace, contentment, and a deep-seated appreciation for the present moment. As we wrap up this journey through the 10 strategies inspired by Stoicism, it's clear that each step, each practice is more than just a task. It's a pathway to cultivating a life of intention, resilience, and profound gratitude. Embracing these practices doesn't mean every day will be perfect, but it does mean that every day will be met with a stronger, more grateful, and more resilient you. You have within you the power to transform not just your mornings, but your entire life into a reflection of the Stoic ideals of virtue, wisdom, and contentment.